This is the Wolves Television Network.
The Chicago Wolves ended the year on a down note, spiraling to their third loss in a row, but tonight it's back to home ice advantage. In the second game of a home-and-home series with Milwaukee, the Wolves have a chance to put some distance between their nearest rival. Look for the Wolves to howl tonight, next on the U. Welcome to the Rosemont Horizon. Tonight, the Chicago Wolves, 19-15-3, second place in the Midwest Division, face off for the fifth time this year against the Milwaukee Admirals, who come in with a mark of 18-16-3, only 2 points behind the Wolves in third place in the Midwest Division. Hello again, everybody. I'm Judd Surratt. The Wolves head into tonight's contest mired in a four-game winless skid, but since tonight's game is a fight for second place, we expect the game against the Admirals to be played with a lot of intensity and fire. At this time, I'd like to bring in my partner here on the Wolves broadcast, Gene Ubriaco. Gene, last night the Wolves trailed 2-1 in Milwaukee late until Troy Murray was able to find Steve Malte and helped him score the game-tying goal.
Well, Captain Troy Murray, he leads by example. With 8 minutes to go in the game, he bumped every Admiral on the ice. Then late in the game, he made a big play. He made a nice pass to Malte, and Malte put it in the net, and the game went into the shootout.
Last night, the Wolves also got a spark from one of their rookies, Brad Purdy, who notched his third goal of the year, and he'll be playing an important role tonight.
Well, Brad Purdy is just about to pop. He looks good every game. Last night he scored a goal. Tonight he will be playing the point on the power play. So look for Brad Purdy on the power play at the point.
Gene, the Admirals are not known for being a great physical and intense team, but one player who can provide that is Dave Mackey.
Well, Dave Mackey, he took a licking and he kept on ticking. He fought Sean Penn last night. Then he comes up with a big goal. He probably played his best game I've seen him play against the Admirals. So look out for Dave Mackey tonight for the Admirals.
At this time, let's head downstairs to Kenny McCutton, who has some news on the two newest Wolves.
We have all seen a drastic change in Chicago's weather, but last night we saw a dramatic change in Chicago's lineup. Grant Mulvey's elected to go with two young prospects, Mike Taylor and Brad Barton, one from the Colonial Hockey League, the other being from the East Coast Hockey League. He's looking for a spark out of those young guys. He felt he got it last night. That's why they're back in the lineup tonight. Back upstairs to you, Judd.
Thanks a lot, Kenny. Hopefully those newcomers can help the Wolves ring up their 11th win at the Rosemont Horizon. Tonight's game is sponsored in part by Craftsman Tools, official tools of the Chicago Wolves. Craftsman, 2,200 hand tools made in America and guaranteed forever. With Craftsman, anything is possible. And by Coca-Cola, always great on ice, always Coca-Cola. And by Northern Illinois Gas, providing you the energy to perform. And by your local Chevy Geo dealers, people you can trust when looking for a good car value. Welcome back to the Rosemont Horizon. The lights are off, which means it's time for the show to begin.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the west end of the ice surface and welcome your 1996-97 Chicago Wolves. First, here he is. Please welcome number 94, the Wolves mascot, Skates! And now get ready to meet the starting lineup for the Wolves tonight. Starting on defense, number 23, Steve Goslin. Also on defense, number 34, Gord Donnelly. On left wing, number 9, Kim Miller. On right wing, number 27, Tim Berglund. At center, number 19, Troy Murray. In goal for the Wolves tonight, number 30, Ray LeBlanc. And would you please welcome the rest of your 1996-97 Chicago Wolves. The Wolves president, general manager, head coach, Grant Mulvey.
The starters for the Wolves in tonight's contest against the Admirals. Up front, at center, Troy Murray on his left, Kip Miller on his right, Tim Berglund back on the blue line, Steve Goslin and Gord Donnelly, and Ray LeBlanc making the appearance in net against the Admirals. The scratches for tonight's contest: Todd Reardon, Aaron Keller, Daryl LaFrance, Doug Baralt, Tim Breslin, and Dan Curry. The Admirals slowly making their way onto the blue line to our left as they head into the Rosemont Horizon for the second time this year. The Wolves shut out the Admirals the last time these two teams met at the Horizon, 2-0. Wendell Young picked up the blanking, making all 26 saves. At this time, I'd like to welcome the senior VP of the Wolves, Wayne Messmer, and his wife, Kathleen, for the singing of the anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs' first delivered, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
An excellent crowd on hand. They are fired up, and when we return, the opening face-off as the Wolves meet the Admirals. This is Chicago Wolves hockey. Manson, did you get standings? What? Time? Okay. Ready for the goalies. Okay. It's the Cap Center, huh, Gene?
Really dark.
Welcome back to the Rosemont Horizon. The starting goaltenders in tonight's contest. In goal to our right, actually in goal to our left, we'll go to Danny Lorenz. 7-1-0 lifetime against the Wolves, 15-13-2, 335 goals against overall this year. Ray LeBlanc in goal to our right. LeBlanc making only his 9th appearance, 1 win away from his 200th, 0-1-0 against the Admirals this year with the goals against him an even 6. Tony Herkus will lean in and take the draw against Troy Murray. Murray able to drive it in the right corner, knocked down by Lorenz, and we're underway. Lorenz plays it up the far side, right corner now Berglund. Back of the net, Berglund took his shoulder. Deflects it over to the far corner, Painter whistles it up the far side, not out. Donnelly shoots, Lorenz, stick save. Rebound comes to the near side out at center ice. Now back in his own zone, far point Donnelly, ahead on right wing Berglund. Center circle feed, Miller over the line, high slot. Near circle now Murray. Murray, shouldered against the wall by Finn left corner. Puck rolled around to the far side and out to center ice. Lord Donnelly center circle, waits for everybody to clear. Franked it into the left corner and we'll have a stop in play. 19:18 remaining here in the opening period, no score. The officials for tonight's contest, the referee is Kelly Sutherland, the linesman, the God of Thunder, Thor Nelson, and it simply wouldn't be a Wolves game without Derek Martin working the lines. The head coach of the Milwaukee Admirals in his 10th season, Phil Whitliff, the winningest active coach in the IHL. The head man for the Chicago Wolves, Grant Mulvey, in his first full season behind the bench. Also the president and general manager of the club. Near circle of his own end, Bancroft. A lead on left wing, Malte. Bangs it up the near side and it floats back into the near circle, the Admirals end. Far circle, Sabrin. Ken Sabrin, who leads the IHL in minor penalties with 39. Up the near side, Howard. Drives it out to center ice, Malte. Rink wide feed, Brown. Zipped it in the right corner. Lorenz stops it behind the net. Plays it up the far side. Couturier lifts it up left wing and it bounces into the far circle, the Wolves end. Near side of his own line, Malte. Center circle feed, Brown. Brown over the line right side. He had it chopped off his stick the other way and a break. Couturier into the left circle. Shoots. LeBlanc the save. Rebound. Hacked wide of the net by Duras. We're going to have a penalty here on the Wolves. 18.5 remaining here in the opening period. No score.
Wow, the Wolves turned it over. Rob Brown turned the puck over. They quickly in the transition. The little breakaway on Ray LeBlanc. No. Nice save by Ray LeBlanc, and Ray LeBlanc going after his 200th win here tonight, and he's on his way with saves like that. As Couturier just came down the middle, had all kinds of time. The last second he got a little hook, but Ray stayed with it, stopped it, no 5-hole. Good save by Ray LeBlanc.
Steve Bancroft into the box, 2 for a hook. So the Admirals put the league's best power play onto the ice. The Wolves able to win the draw and drive it the length of the ice. The Wolves short-handed. They are last in the league at 78.5%. Better at home at 82%. Right side center ice, Esau over the red line, over the blue line. Bounces it back to the net. LeBlanc leaves it along the near side. Donnelly shovels it ahead, and Murray will play it back into the Admirals' end. Behind his own net, Ken Painter, who had a power play goal against the Wolves last night and has 2 against the Wolves in the series. Center circle, Herkus wheels over the line, high slide into the far circle, fakes, shoots wide. Might have been deflected. Near point, Esau, high slot, Luongo. Lost it, here comes Malte, he speeds ahead. Malte hooked down, and that'll do it for the Admirals power play. 17:43 remaining here in the first, no score.
Well, Steve Malte, almost a replay of the Admiral penalty. Steve Malte on a turnover picks it up and is going right down the middle, and watch the hook. They lean in and pull him down. Same kind of play, and now we'll go on 4-on-4 hockey.
We'll play 4-on-4 for another minute 13, and that's when Steve Bancroft will leave, as Chris Luongo is the man guilty of hooking Steve Malte. Malte, with a goal last night, now has 17 goals in his last 20 games. Luongo in the box for hooking at the 2:17 mark. The penalty is over on Bancroft. Will head to the power play. Brad Barton playing his first game as a member of the Wolves in this building. Made his debut last night with Chicago. The Wolves recently brought him in from Quad City, the Colonial League. A native of Uxbridge, Ontario. Near side at center ice, Mackey, who also had a tally last night. Center circle, Prue. On right wing over the line, here's Mackey into the right circle. Mackey dips around a check. Centers, whack just wide over at the far post, and LeBlanc able to freeze. 17-19 remaining here in the first, no score.
Well, Dave Mackey starting off where he left off last night in Milwaukee. He picked up the puck around the blue line, one hand on the stick, and he fended off the defenseman. Cut in on goal and laid it across, but Ray LeBlanc was quick to the other side. Here it is here. Goes to his backhand, fends off a defender, gets as close as he can, then throws it out. It squirts across. Ray LeBlanc quickly gets over in that duck style and gets that pad, covers that other side.
Draw will be in the far circle in the Wolves end. We skate 4 aside for another 49 seconds. The Wolves tied for the IHL lead, scoring first 25 times. They did so last night on a goal by Brad Purdy. Now Murray wheels out to center ice. Ahead on right wing over the red line. Ripped it in off the glass into the right corner. Squirts to the near circle. Mackey in his own end. Couldn't get it out. Right circle. Berglund tracks it down. Bangs it behind the net. Behind the net, Finn trying to fight off Berglund. Along the near side, Mackey able to dig it free. Far point in his own end, Finn ahead on left wing out to center ice. Strunk over the red line. Drives it in and around. Near circle. Speeding ahead is Goslin. Over the red line on left wing. Flutters one over to the far post. Knocked down by Lorenz. Played up the far boards. Brown able to kick it at the far point to keep it in. Ken Sabrin will whistle it up the middle and down the length of the ice as the Wolves begin their power play. Bancroft leads the box. Chicago in the power play 5th overall at 18.5%. At home, it moves up to 21.5%. Miller drives it around the wall. To the far side it comes, and it's whistled the length of the ice by Mike McNeil.
The Wolves got to do a better job of breaking out down the ice. Last night, on 3 power plays, only 1 shot. They got to do better than that.
Left side at center ice, Bancroft. Whistled it in and around. Got deflected. And comes out to center ice, Duras. Leaves it center circle. Chips it over the line, high slot, Herkus. Cuts into the slot, shoots wide. Along the near side now, Malte. The Wolves power play is over as Luongo leaves the box. Center circle, Bancroft. Over the line right side. Bangs it in off his skate. Back of the net now, Painter lost it. Malte spins him around. Left corner, Herkus, who leads the Admirals with 2 goals and 5 points in the head-to-head meetings against the Wolves. Able to chip it back into the far circle, the Wolves and Toporowski. Slides one ahead on right wing. Right of the net, Painter touches. We have icing. 15-18 remaining here in the first, no score. Back in a moment. This is Chicago Wolves hockey. Okay. All right. Welcome back to the Rosemont Horizon. Scoreless about 4.5 minutes into the contest. The Wolves have struggled this year in the division. 7-5-2 is their record. Milwaukee, they have done extremely well, 11-5-1, and that was one of the reasons they were able to overtake the Wolves last year for the Midwest Division title. San Antonio, a 9-2-1 mark. They lead everybody in the division heading into tonight's contest at 25-11-3. The Admirals, they have dominated this series. The Wolves 1-2-1 this year against Milwaukee. Lifetime, the Admirals have won 15 of the 20 meetings. Penn knocks his man down at the far point. Esau and the Wolves carry ahead. Center circle, Taylor, one of the newest members of the team. Far corner, Penn tied up with Mackey. Far corner, Felsner. Felsner, back of the net. Cut off from the puck by Lorenz. Along the near side, getting to it is Jobert, and we're going to have a stop in play as the glass in the left corner was knocked loose. 14:52 left here in the first, no score.
Penn, Taylor, and Felsner, they're out there to get things going, and even the goaltender got involved on that one as Sean Penn, who had a big fight last night, got things going for the Wolves, but then the Wolves couldn't capitalize in the power play. Here's the play where the glass gets knocked out. Look at this check. There's going to be a lot of hitting in this game. Penn is going to do it, and that Taylor, the new player, he's going to do a lot of it. In fact, Lorenz behind the net just before Penn's hit here, Lorenz came behind the net and took Felsner out. So everybody's going to take a piece of everyone tonight. It looks like it.
And that was one of the things that got the Wolves going last night, as the Admirals started to look around and make some careless passes, especially in the second period.
Well, you know, you have to do that. You got to get things going. They lost a few in a row here. They got to bang. That was the most hits the Wolves have gotten this season in a game last night. So I think they got to continue that. It'll bode well for them if they do.
They have done very well in back-to-back matchups, as you just saw. 9-1-1 in the second game of a back-to-back matchup. Fans bring a group of 15 or more to Wolves games, and you'll not only have a great time, you'll save money too. Whether you're a school, civic group, or just a group of friends or family, the Wolves offer discounts that can save you up to $3 per ticket. And Wolves discounted group tickets can be a great fundraiser as well. Operators are standing by, so call 1-800-THE-WOLVES now.
Yeah, watch Felsner going in deep for the puck, and watch Lorenz. Boom. A nice check by the goalie. That's a given. He can do it. Why not?
But the other players can't check the goaltender.
No? Well, why not take the... He gets the break, and he's taking it.
Right now, the Wolves outshot 4-1. Thus far in the contest, they've been outshot in 7 of their last 9 overall, which includes last night. They got outshot 32-22. Far point, Felsner had it deflect off his skate out to center ice. Near side in the neutral zone, Bork had his pocket picked into the right circle. Jobert stops into the right circle. Strunk tugged off the puck by Toporowski. Far corner, Taylor will race for it. Taylor backhands it ahead, not out. Far point, Jobert shoots, block. Rebound caroms out to center ice. Prue leaves it far side of the red line. And now it comes to the high slot in the Wolves end for Toporowski. Ahead on right wing out at center ice. He'll drive it behind Lorenz. This should be icing, and it is. 14:06 remaining here in the opening period, no score.
Well, it's not going to be pretty, it looks like. It's going to be a lot of one-on-one confrontations, a lot of action. Young Taylor is going to hit every time he gets a chance. That's what he does. He wants to make an impression, and he's up here on a tryout, and that's going to get him noticed by the coaching staff.
Taylor won a Riley Cup 2 years ago in the East Coast Hockey League with Richmond. Played some college hockey at Northeastern, a native of Kingston, Ontario. Far point, Finn shoots, the block, the save. Rebound caroms off the glass over to the far side. Far circle now, Herkus, high slot, Painter fanned on a shot, and the rebound caroms out to center ice. Far side of his own line, Painter feeds it ahead, intercepted by Donnelly. Tried to wrist it in, and that got cut off by Tuttle. One-handed over the line, Herkus into the right circle, walks in, taken down, rebound, they score! Tony Herkus able to drive one on net. Mike McNeil followed it, and he bangs home the game's first goal.
Tony Herkus last night had one shot. He was kept in check, and in the last few games against the Admirals, they've been doing a good job of keeping him in check. But Tony Herkus is an outstanding scorer in this league, and he shows his stuff here. He gets pulled down, but he manages to get to the puck in the net, and Ray LeBlanc kind of poke-checked it right back, right into the Admiral and into the net.
And Mike McNeil able to tally his 12th goal of the year. Tony Herkus picking up his 30th assist. He came into tonight's contest 5th in the league in helpers with 29. That's his 6th point against the Wolves in the series this year. And Chicago trails 1-0. The Wolves 3-9-0 when the opponent scores first this year. Murray able to lift it out to center ice, back to the far circle in the Admiral end. Up the near side now, Herkus over the line right side, stops at the near point, cuts to the high slot, into the far circle, shoots LeBlanc the save, rebound. LeBlanc able to freeze. 12:59 remaining here in the first. 1-0 Admirals, back in a moment. This is Chicago Wolves hockey. I tell you that. What was that? Huh? Oh, it was you. I thought someone else was taking a whack at me. What, taking the guy's
He's already been whacked in San Antonio.
Back with a read. Is this just off the screen? Chicago Wolves fans, stop by the Sears store in Louis Joliet Mall in Joliet Wednesday, January 15th from 5:30 to 7 p.m. for an autograph session with the Chicago Wolves' very own Phil Bourque and skates. We hope to see you there. The Admirals ahead 1-0 as Phil Bourque looks on from the bench. Mike McNeil tallying his 12th of the year. He had only 8 last year, so he's having a fine offensive year. Of course, it helps to play in a line with Tony Herkus, who got the lone assist. Right side center ice, Malte speeds over the line, right wing into the right circle, shoots, Lorenzo save, rebound, whack behind the net. Now Tomlak, far circle of his own zone, knuckles it up the near side out to center ice, Duras. Over the line, right side, Couturier, lost it, right corner, he'll track it down, Howard, cranked him against the wall. Brown up the near side, kicks it ahead out to center ice, Malte. Malte over the line, left side against Sabrin. Shoots, the Rens, glove save, rebound. Oh, they score! Steve Malte with a wicked drive in the near circle. The Rens tried to track it down at the far post, but Purdy beat him to it and sizzled one home. We're tied at 1.
Steve Malte, he really turned on the Jets twice that shift. Here's the second time. He cuts in, drills the puck, a real hard shot, there's a rebound. Purdy really quickly got onto the puck and it squibbled in there. Just a great shot here, a good hard shot, a good save, partial save because he couldn't hang on to it. Purdy beats Tomlak to the puck and then it caroms off his stick into the net. Watch the stick, he just about gets a piece of it, and it just goes in over the line for Brad Purdy.
For a second there, I thought Lorenz made a beautiful recovery, but Brad Purdy able to beat him to the spot. Far side Purdy, jams at it. Unable to get it out, he'll reverse it back of the net. Near corner Bancroft for Purdy, he has goals in each of his last 2. That's his 4th of the year. Now Brown ahead on left wing over the blue line, Malte. Drop pass Brown, shoots, blocked, rebound. Oh, swept just wide by Bancroft. As that puck changed directions, back of the net, Bancroft. Slammed against the wall by Sabrin, who gets knocked down. Near circle now, Purdy. High slot, Malte shoots, Lorenz. Rebound, right circle. Lorenz watched it go wide. 11:33 remaining here in the opening period. We're tied at 1.
Just a great breakout for the Wolves up to Brown. They came down the ice and they had it all over the Admirals. Purdy, Malte, and Brown starting to click. They only got put together last night, so it's going to take a little while, and it's starting to come already with some good opportunities. Here's a nice pass after the breakout over to Malte. Malte puts it in the slot. A shot kind of caroms, but Purdy real quickly to get back into the puck. Now watch as Bancroft, who got hit on the boards, centers it out. He gets taken out, but look, they're coming around. They just keep on him. There's Brown again. Now Purdy picks it up. They were just really hustling, and that's what they've got to do against this Admiral defense.
Far circle of his own end. Issa slaps it out to the center circle. Mackey drives it to the left of LeBlanc. LeBlanc freezes it over at the far post, and we'll have a stop. 11:14 remaining here in the opening period. We're tied at 1. Purdy got that goal from Malte and Brown, and Rob Brown back in the point scoring column, as he was shut out in each of the last 2 games after registering 32 straight.
Well, you know, he's that Brad Purdy's ready to pop, and he's with the right people right now, Malte and Brown, to make that happen. And he's really showing some signs of coming around, this Brad Purdy, and maybe it's tonight.
Rob Brown, with that assist, increases his total to 67 points in the year. That leads the IHL. It's also his 40th assist, which also leads the league. Up the far side now, Bork able to dance around a check. Ahead on right wing out to center ice, Taylor. Wrists it in the right corner. Lorenz unable to slow it. Left corner now, Felsner reverses it to the far corner. Issa jammed against the wall by Taylor. Far circle, Felsner had it slapped off his stick. Ahead on right wing out at center ice, Jobert, the South Bend native. Slides it to the far corner. Felsner beats everybody to the puck, back of the net. Felsner up the left side, Taylor. Taylor able to fight through a check over the line left side, into the left circle, centers, Felsner shoots, he scores! Denny Felsner with a wicked wrister, and it's 2-1 Wolves.
Well, that all started at the other end. A great check by Taylor. The puck came back, and Denny Felsner went back behind the net, picked it up, got it up to Taylor around the red line. Taylor got over the blue line, got deep. Nice little shovel pass over to Felsner. He calmly took it and drilled it into the net. Boy, they're going to love this Taylor if he keeps hitting and making plays like that. Here it is. Taylor picks up the puck, takes a look. Nice pass. Denny Felsner, who is an opportunist, you give him the chances and he'll score the goals.
For Felsner, his 10th of the year. 12 of his 15 points this year, 16 have come at home. Herkus dribbles it into the right corner. Along the near side, Donnelly bounces it ahead out to center ice, Murray. Murray bangs it into the far corner. Finn drives it off the glass, far side, not out. Now carried away by Tuttle. Sprints ahead on left wing. Flings one into the right corner. There to get it is Goslin. Sidesteps a check, leaves it for Donnelly. Over to the far side, pinching his Finn. Far corner, Donnelly rubs his man against the wall. Near corner, Miller ahead on left wing out at center ice. Center circle now, Murray. Over the line, high slot, crisscrossing. The trailer, Berglund and Miller unable to scoop it up. Over the line, far side now, Tuttle on the counter. Shoots, LeBlanc, stick save. Rebound, far corner, Berglund. Berglund, who had 2 assists against the Admirals last night, lifts it over the glass into the crowd. 9:42 remaining here in the opening period. 2-1 Wolves.
Berglund and Murray playing with Miller on left wing. Miller didn't get any shots last night. He's got to get some shots, and he will if he stays with this line, because Berglund and Miller will always be working hard. Murray, here's the goal again. You see how he fought off that check by Steve Strunk, and then he kept going. Taylor makes a nice little pass, and the shot beats Lorenz cleanly.
Felsner so strong, and he whistled that one home. The lone assist going to Mike Taylor. Time 9:21. Center circle. Brown over the line left side. Purdy tied up. Brown centering this line. Taps it behind the net. Intercepted. Tomlak speeds out to center ice. Into the center circle. Wheels over the line into the right circle. Now near point. Couturier shoots, stick save, LeBlanc. Back of the net, centered out in front, bounces there, out in front, Couturier knocked down! A nice play by Bancroft, as Couturier, a hard man to knock down off his skates, was leveled in front. And it cost him an opportunity to tie the game. Center circle now, Brown. Tied up from behind, over the line, high slot, Malte shoots wide. Far side now to the far corner, Brown. Centers. Penn shoots! Lorenz able to freeze as Sean Penn took a couple whacks at that one. 8:43 remaining here in the opening period. 2-1 Wolves, back in a moment. This is Chicago Wolves hockey. What'd you slug me for? Oh. Huh? Oh.
Oh, here it is. Nice slide across to Sean Penn. Yeah.
Oh.
Brown beating Couturier of the Admirals to the puck, turns nicely. Look at the head up, looking, and who's in front of the net? Sean Penn, a big guy, tough to handle. He got a piece of it, almost got another piece of it.
Fans, the Chicago Wolves are offering gift certificates called Hockey Bucks. They're redeemable for both Wolves tickets and merchandise, so spread good cheer with Chicago Wolves Hockey Bucks. Call 1-800-THE-WOLVES to order yours now. Draw in the far circle in the Admirals' end. The Wolves closing the gap in shots. 10-8 in favor of Milwaukee right now. Center circle Strunk. Slapped it into the far corner, back of the net LeBlanc. Leaves it for Toporowski. Plays it off the dasher over to the near point. Esau shoots. LeBlanc able to make the stop. That looked like it changed directions. 8:26 left here in the first. 2-1 Wolves, and Mackey getting involved with Toporowski and Penn. Penn and Mackey scrapped last night, and I wonder if we're going to get a few minor penalties here from referee Kelly Sutherland.
Well, Toporowski has been pretty well calmed down player. He had a 10-game suspension earlier from last season, so he's been playing it cool, but you know, he has to be noticed, has to get involved, and he's getting out there a little more. Here was the play that the Wolves trying to fire the puck out along the boards instead of coming up nicely up the middle, and was deflected right into LeBlanc. Both goals that the Wolves scored, it started on a good, clean breakout. One by Felsner, carrying it out. Another that was a nice pass up the middle to Brown, and then resulted on goals. And if they're going to score some goals, they got to clean up their end first.
Draw will be in the far circle, the Wolves end. Right now they have put a minor penalty onto the board for Kerry Toporowski. Dave Mackey is into the box, so apparently Toporowski got a double minor. The designated sitter will be Sean Penn. And so the Admirals will have an opportunity on the power play. 0 for 1 thus far. The man who leads them, Larry DePalma, with 7. Far side now, Duras. Second on the team with 6. Far point now, Duras. Stick handles. Near point, Painter. Near side, Luongo into the right corner. Lost it. Bork bangs it up the near side. Not out. High slot, Painter. Shoots the block. A great stick save. Back of the net, Berglund. Steers around one man and will whistle it down the length of the ice. Coming back to get it is Luongo. The Wolves have killed 35 of their last 40 shorthanded situations heading into this contest. De Palma, far corner. Slapped against the wall by Donnelly. High slot, Luongo. Shoots, never got through. Rebound, chip to the high slot, Brown. Fights through a check, out to center ice, over the red line on left wing, over the blue line. Left circle, now Brown. Centers, oh, just beyond the stick of Malte. Far side at center ice, Luongo over the red line. Whistles it in and around. Brown chops it ahead, but not out. Duras, oh, he took a pounding check from Bork, and the glass is dislodged at the near hash marks. 7:21 remaining here in the opening period, 2-1 Wolves.
Well, last night, Bill Bork did exactly the same thing, and on the same player. Duras, he hit him so hard. Duras was laid out, and in fact, for a long time, went off the ice, missed a couple shifts, got back in the game. A clean, hard check, just like this one. He's on the boards, and here he comes. Boom! Put him into the glass, broke out the glass. I think Duras saw enough of Phil Bork last night. But you know, you got to keep building on those hits, and that's what the Wolves are doing. They're continuing on with hitting today, and that's what's going to get them there.
Gene, when teams like this, or when the Wolves start to hit, what does it create for them?
Well, listen, that is so much of a motivator for the rest of the fellas on the bench. When you see you out there hitting, blocking a shot, making a big play, taking a hit, that all tends to rally everybody. It gets everybody going. And that's what the Wolves have been missing. They need to have that catalyst, and the hitting will bring it. Last night, they had almost 70 checks, and they've been averaging around 40 for most of the season, and that's not going to do it. Because you want teams, when they're playing against the Wolves, to know they're in a tough game. They're going to have to work to beat them.
Fans, the next Wolves home game is tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m. when the Grand Rapids Griffins flap their way back to the Rosemont Horizon. Again, that game is tomorrow, the Rosemont Horizon against the Griffins. Good seats are still available. Call Ticketmaster at 312-559-1212 or stop by the Horizon box office.
Watch Phil Bork coming in here. He just a nice shoulder, both feet on the ice. He didn't jump at him. That would have been charging if you jumped. Took him into the boards real nice. Yeah, and you know what? You notice, does it get the team up? They're all giggling over there. You know, one time I had a player come over the bench. He got hit like that, and I said, did you get his number? He said, no, but I'll never forget that laugh.
Near corner of his own end, Bancroft hammers it up the near side and down the length of the ice. The Wolves short-handed for another 45 seconds. Near side, Berglund almost able to steal. Comes out to center ice for Bork. Far side at the red line. Tried to feed it ahead for Berglund. Got intercepted. Near side center ice to Palma. Larry to Palma. Lost at center circle, and Murray will drive it lightly into the right corner and behind Lorenz. Toporowski with only 25 seconds remaining on his first minor. He got 2 for roughing and 2 for unsportsmanlike conduct. And the puck is driven in, and we have icing as Phil Bork will touch in front. 6:45 left here in the opening period. 2-1 Wolves.
Larry DePalma, he just gets out in front of the net, and I'm sure Coach Mulvey has talked to the boys. What you want to do is make sure you get the best position in front of the net. But Larry DePalma tries to get to that position before the Wolves defense, so he's between the Wolves defense and Ray LeBlanc. The defense got to be in front of the Wolves defense, got to be in the right position in front, pushing out. It's easier to defend a position than get into one.
I heard stories that Larry DePalma used to break plates with his head at the team meals.
They used to call him a repo, repo man.
It's because he used to shave his head and he looked like the character from the movie.
That's right.
The Wolves drive it in and around, over to the near side. Tuttle couldn't get it out. Left circle, Brown shoots. Oh, Lorenz ducked out of the way. Brown going high and hard with that drive. Near corner, Luongo. Back of the net. He'll set it up. Luongo, 6th among IHL defensemen with 27 points. The Wolves are back at full strength as Penn leaves the box as a designated sitter. Brown off the turnover. Over the line, right side, Malte. High slot, Purdy. Shoots, blocked. And the rebound is swatted up the right side by Tuttle and back into the Wolves zone. Heading back to touch is Hauer. We have icing. 6:06 remaining here in the opening period. The Wolves up 2-1.
Well, the Wolves showing a lot of spunk tonight, getting ahead 2-1 on a couple of good plays, but the hits are generating the action. When the Admirals go back for the puck, they're looking to see who's coming, looking over their shoulder. They're not looking to make a play. Another area is they're making some good plays coming out of their own zone, which is very important. Not just wheeling it up the boards and hoping it out of the zone. Make that good, clean first pass. Sean Penn has seen a lot of ice, and that's the kind of game he likes, hitting, a lot of action, and this is the way this youngster will come along. He's seen the ice, he's making use of it.
He has a goal against the Admirals this year. Came in game 2. The Wolves able to win the draw, but it comes back out to center ice. Brad Barton bangs it up the far side. Couldn't get it deep over the line. Far side now is Mackey. Had it swept off his stick. Barton at the far point. Tied up with Mackey. Kicks it out to center ice. Far side of the red line, Penn. Wrists it in the right corner. Lorenz leaves it back of the net. Prue able to avoid a check by Felsner. Felsner who has the go-ahead goal thus far. The other goal scored by Brad Purdy. Mike McNeil has the lone Milwaukee talent. Near side of his own end, Taylor spins away from Jobert. Taylor plays it off the end boards over to the far side. Felsner had it stripped. Taylor will carry on. Speeds ahead up the right side. Cuts to the center circle. Left wing over the line. Penn. Drop pass to Taylor near circle. Centers. Oh, Felsner hacked at it and it pops into the air. Mackey from the far corner of his own end, able to lift it to the center circle. Bortz waits for everybody to clear. Drives it on goal. Lorenz steers that over to the far side and the Wolves change. Steal by Murray. Right circle. Centers. Nobody home in front. The Wolves jam it behind the net. Murray again. Murray to the near circle. To the near point, Goslin. Bats it in the left corner. Miller throws it over to the far corner from behind the net. Berglund took a hit, kicks it behind the net. Left corner now Murray as the Wolves have their way in the Admiral zone. Back of the net. Miller tied up. Puck comes over to the far corner. Prue fell on top of it, and that'll force a stop. 4:32 remaining here in the opening period. 2-1 Wolves over the Admirals. Back in a moment. This is Chicago Wolves hockey. That kind of alarmed me.
Okay.
I got yanked down here first year. Like someone pulled me down from behind. All right, wait for the intermission. We'll do it later. All right.
Yes,
yeah,
I like
down.
that. Here's a nice breakout for the Wolves. Little support for Felsner, who got the puck off the boards. Back to Taylor. Taylor comes up and feeds it over nicely to Penn. Penn drops it in the hole for Taylor. He slides it out in front for Felsner, and Felsner just got taken out. We got Penn and Taylor, not Penn and Taylor, working out here.
Far point, Donnelly shoots wide. I don't know if Lorenz saw that until it went past him. Quick shot, Goslin fired it just behind the net, centered out in front. Murray almost stuffed one home. Where the Wolves have had a lot of opportunities in this opening period against Danny Lorenz, even though they've only registered 9 shots on goal. Puck fired into the near corner. Finn took a shoulder from Berglund. Now along the near side, Miller throws his weight around. Near circle, Berglund tried to poke it out front, lost it. The Admirals break back. Right side, center ice, McNeil. A lead over the line right side for Finn. Coughed it up. The Wolves shovel it out to center ice. Far side in the neutral zone, Berglund. Berglund, far side of the red line. Tied up with McNeil, wants a draw and gets it. 3:43 remaining here in the opening period. 2-1 Wolves. During our first intermission, Steve Goslin will be joining Kenny McCudden as our live intermission guest. Plus, we'll catch you up on this past week of action with our Wolves Rewind segment. Also, we'll have first period highlights and stats, all that during our first intermission break. Steve Goslin getting a rest. Leads the Wolves in plus minus at plus 12. 1 goal, 13 points in 24 games heading in. Last year he only had 22 points all of last season, so he is on pace for a career offensive year. Near circle of his own end, Bancroft bangs it up the near side, out to center ice. It's whacked right back in. Malte gloves it high slot. Malte center circle. Malte feeds over the line, high slot. Brown into the right circle. Purdy kicks it out in front, couldn't get to it as he was tugged off the puck from behind by Couturier. Couturier feeds it up the near side, out to center ice it comes. Duras on right wing, the 10-year NHL veteran. Over the line, far side, Luongo into the far circle, shoots, LeBlanc the save, rebound, they score! Luongo with a nice play over at the far circle, stayed with his shot, and he ties it at 2.
Well, the Wolves had it going in the Admirals zone, a little chance there for Purdy, then it came back out, and then Purdy was the high man. He picked up his man, but he reacted too soon, and the man went around him. He's a centerman playing right wing, and that's something he's going to have to learn. You give the winger the outside, you take away the inside. Don't get caught. Don't let him be able to cut in He turned too quick. He should have turned back towards the post and cut him off later. He went at him too soon. There's a rebound on LeBlanc, and it just squirts through.
So Luongo has tied it up. That's his first even strength goal of the year, 6th overall. Right corner Felsner sweeps it over to the far side, Penn. So we're all back to even. Right side center ice, Penn fires it in and around. Near side Felsner. Dropped it near point, Penn. Near circle now, Taylor. Bounces it into the air, glove there, and Mackey will carry it ahead. Mackey had it slapped off his stick, and Penn will bang it up the near side and back into the Admirals' end. Lorenz plays it out to center ice, up off the right wing boards, and the Wolves kick it right back. Esau took a slap from Miller, able to get it out to center ice. Puck kicked into the right corner of the Wolves' end. Toporowski back in the net, and we have icing. 2:22 remaining here in the opening period. We are tied at 2.
Toporowski's seen the ice a little bit more, and that's got to help. He's got to try to stay out of the box, but still be able to take people out, be involved, because he's a presence. Don't think everybody in the Admirals, they look around when he's on the ice. He's a big, solid man.
Draw in the near circle by Danny Lorenz. Tony Herkus will lean in and take the draw against Troy Murray. Back of the net now, Painter. Up the far side, McNeil. Center circle now, Herkus. Whistles it to the far corner. LeBlanc plays it off the glass far side. Berglund leaves it far hash marks for Donnelly. Drills it into the air, and Murray will club it back out to center ice. McNeil tied up with Murray, and we will get a draw. 2 minutes remaining here in the opening period. We're tied at 2.
Oh, there's aggressive play by Donnelly on the boards. And, you know, they've got the Admirals kind of looking over their shoulder. They got to play that way. It's unfortunate, though, in this period, a couple of kind of misplayed rebounds have and the Admirals were able to jump on them on both shots that came at LeBlanc. He kind of misplayed him as the one he poke checked right to him, the other rebound gave right back to Luongo.
Oh, Gosselin floored on a check by Painter. The Admirals with the puck, far side center ice. Herkus chips one into the air, gloved by Miller. Miller over the line, high slot. Miller to the far circle. Miller walks in, dragged down, rebound in front. Lorenz able to make the stop as Murray tried to drive one home, but we will get a penalty on the Admirals. 1:39 remaining here in the first. We're tied at 2.
Wow, Kip Miller just made a sparkling play. You know, Kip Miller's a heads up. He doesn't look like he's moving too quick, but he really handles the puck. He turns that defenseman inside out. That was Painter. Then he gets a stick on, and then Painter kind of pulled him down. In the meantime, that's Kip Miller's got to make those plays. Now Steve Gosselin gets stood up here with a nice check by Painter. So Painter trying to assert himself. He hits Gosselin and then takes the penalty on Miller. Not such a good check on Miller. He gets into the box for that one.
Painter off for holding. The Wolves will start their second power play, scoreless on their lone attempt earlier this period. Around the far circle in the Admirals' end. High slot Bork. Shoots! Whistled wide. Rebound Malte. Oh, he whacked it just behind the net. It was a race between he and Lorenz to get to that puck, and Lorenz able to get there to cut off the near post, and the Admirals able to clear it down the length of the ice. Now Hauer whistles it up the near side out at center ice. Brown swats at it. Admirals rolling on edge back behind LeBlanc. 1:08 remaining here in the opening period. We're tied at 2. Miller out at center ice on left wing, over the red line, over the blue line on left wing. Drop to the near point, Brown. High slot, Hauer. Far circle, Malte. Malte to the far corner. Far side now, Miller. Right circle, Miller. Right corner, Brown. Centers, Malte. Oh, he had it, but he couldn't get much on it. And it just laid there in front, and that allows Herkus to steal. Over the line, right side now, Herkus. Shoots, LeBlanc. Able to make the save of the blocker. 37 seconds remaining here in the first. Wolves on the power play. Puck free in the near circle. High slot, Miller. Shoots, blocked. Esau able to kick that one out to center ice. 25 seconds left here in the first. Wolves in the power play. Brown steers it into the left corner. Esau bangs his man against the wall. Brown centers, high slot now, Hauer. Near point, Bork. Over to the near side. Puck picked off by Herkus. 11 seconds remaining here in the first. Over the line, high slot now. Esau pulls through a check, shoots, he scores! Oh, Len Esau with a damaging shorthanded goal with 6 seconds remaining here in the opening period.
Well, you don't want to give up those shorthanded, especially in the last minute of a period. Here he comes. Esau kind of squirts through two big, tough guys. They got to take him. He gets through, and he manages a shot right through the 5-hole on LeBlanc. A nice little pass from Herkus, right in the middle, splits the defense, and right through the 5-hole, right on the ice.
And that is Esau's 5th. And for the Wolves, that's the 10th shorthanded goal that they've allowed this year. And Bourque will just let time expire. The Wolves, again, they've allowed now 10 shorthanded goals, which is tied for the most in the league. That's only the second that they have allowed here at home. And it is a damaging goal as the Admirals are able to rally back after they were trailing 2-1. They got 2 late goals, and they will carry a 3-2 lead into the first intermission. And I think looking back, Gene, that goal by Luongo could have been the most pivotal here in the contest. Here's a look at the scoring summary. The Admirals opened the scoring at the 6:20 mark, and a goal by Mike McNeil, his 12th from Tony Herkus. Brad Purdy tied it up with his 2nd in as many nights, his 4th overall from Malte and Brown at the 7:35 mark. The Wolves took the lead at 9:21 on a wrister by Denny Felsner, his 10th of the year. Mike Taylor, the lone assist. But then Chris Luongo able to tie the score on his 6th of the year. Duras and Tomlak, the assist time, 16:50, and a damaging shorthanded goal with only seconds remaining in the opening period. Esau, his 5th of the year from Herkus at the 19:55 mark. Shots on goal in favor of Milwaukee, 16-14. Gene and I will bring you back in a moment and an interview with Steve Goslin here in the first intermission. This is Chicago Wolves hockey.
John, testing 1, 2. Say a few words in French so I can hear you.
Salut mon ami John, comment ça va?
Get some subtitles up there.
Can he, there we go. All right, I got it. All right, we're ready? All right.
Just a bit outside. Looking good. Yeah. Hold it.
Welcome back to the Rosemont Horizon here in the first intermission. It's the Admirals with a 3-2 lead over the Chicago Wolves. An intense first period of play, but the Wolves able to move the puck well out of their own zone, snapping the passes. One of the men who's been doing that tonight back on the blue line is downstairs with our ringside reporter, Steve Goslin.
Steve, welcome. You've won a championship in junior hockey. What was it like being honored the best defenseman in all of Canada?
I mean, it was, very pleasant. I mean, we had a very good season my last year in junior, and I mean, with a good player, so it's pretty easy to play the game. So, of course, with 29 goals, 100 points, and more. And, I mean, I enjoyed to play that year with all those guys, and of course, win the championship is the best.
You're leading the plus-minus here with the Chicago Wolves. You must be skating very well. You're shooting the puck very well. Are all those things blending together?
Yeah, I did pretty well the first 12, 13 game in the beginning of the season. As soon as I came back from my injuries, I tried to, I kind of struggle a little bit, and I have to find myself a little bit better than that. And actually, I'm still working on some details, and every day I have to keep focusing on little details and try to make things happen a little bit better than right now.
The Wolves fans are being treated to Ray LeBlanc tonight versus Wendell Young. Do you have to play any different in front of one goalie versus the other?
No, we don't have any difference. I mean, of course, Wendell played the puck a little bit harder than Ray. He's got maybe more skills, but Ray, is still a quick goalie, and like tonight, he made 2 big saves for us. So it's no difference at all. I mean, we have to play the same kind of game, tight game, defense game. Win our one-on-one battle, and if you don't do that in front of Ray, why we're doing that in front of Wendell? So we have to do that, in front of the both goalie, because I think we have got the best goaltending staff in the league. So
I want to congratulate you on your son, Nicholas. Has that changed your game at all?
A little bit less sleep. No, he's a nice boy right now. I mean, we start feed him a little bit more, so we sleep a little bit better at night. So we're getting along about that.
Steve, good luck in the next 2 periods. Judd, upstairs, back to you.
Thanks a lot, Kenny. Steve Gausen and the Wolves will sleep a little bit better tonight if they can come back from this 3-2 deficit here in the first intermission. Gene and I will bring you back for more in just a moment. This is Chicago Wolves hockey. How long? The Chicago Wolves and the Milwaukee Admirals. Well, while we've been away, we'd like to get you a chance to catch up on the Wolves as we head to our regular segment, the Wolves Rewind. The Wolves met the Quebec Rafale for the first time at the Rosemont Horizon. Welcome back to the first intermission of the contest between the Chicago Wolves and...
Yo, right.
Welcome back to the first intermission of the contest between the Chicago Wolves and the Milwaukee Admirals. Well, while we've been away, we'd like to get you a chance to catch up on the Wolves as we head to our regular segment, the Wolves Rewind. The Wolves met the Quebec Rafale for the first time at the Rosemont Horizon last Sunday, and Wendell Young was given a workout. He made 41 saves against the Rafale, including these 2 beauties against Steve LaRouche and Gaetan Duchesne. Finally, Quebec was able to tally a few goals. Jesse Belanger banged this one home. That helped Quebec build a 3-0 lead, but the Wolves would rally back. Rob Brown would take the feed, burst over the line, in all alone on Beauregard, fired one, it drifted just wide, but Brown stayed with it, hacked it out in front where Malte centered to Miller, who banged it home, and that cut Quebec's lead to 3-2. Quebec would later pull ahead by 3 goals, but Chicago would rally again on this beautiful goal by Rob Brown as he heads behind the goal line and tucks it inside the near post beyond Beauregard, who was not pleased that Brown was able to tally that goal. Moments later, he would be displeased again as Chicago was able to tally on a feed by Brown to Malte to bang it home, and the Wolves trailed only 5-4, but they could come no closer. They pulled for the extra attacker, couldn't get anywhere, and finally Bob Sweeney banged home this shorthanded tally, which ended Chicago's hopes 7-4 as the Wolves dropped their opening meeting against Quebec 0-1-0. On New Year's Eve, the Wolves headed down to San Antonio, and for the first time this year, the Wolves were shut out as Bruce Racine was able to pick up the victory and also the shutout, his second consecutive against the Wolves, and Rob Brown's career-high 32-game scoring streak has come to an end. The Wolves started out the new year playing at the Bradley Center, where they got a wealth of support from the Wolfpack. Sean Penn tried to get the Wolves going in the opening period on this scrap with Dave Mackey. A couple big rights, floors Mackey, and that would help propel Chicago as the game went on. Wendell Young was magnificent in the contest, and he was given a lead on this beautiful feed. Malte to Purdy, who one-times it by Danny Lorenz. Chicago led early in the second period, 1-0. Wendell Young held his team in it. He made 30 saves last night, and he made a beauty here on a deflection by Larry DePalma, robbing him with a glove. That one was ticketed inside the far post. The Wolves trailed 2-1 with under a minute and a half remaining, but Murray was able to center it out in front for Malte, who dished in his 21st of the year. That tied it up at 2 apiece. We headed into the shootout. Brad Purdy able to tally one of 2 goals that the Wolves had against Danny Lorenz, but he stopped Tim Breslin there, and that allowed Lorenz and the Admirals to pick up a 3-2 shootout victory over the Chicago Wolves. In that contest, in addition, Malte bangs in a goal and 2 points. Purdy, his 3rd of the year. Chicago notches 2 of 5 in the extra session. Kip Miller and Brad Purdy able to get those goals. The power play struggled, going 0 for 3. When we return, Gene and I will show you the Clark intermission highlights and statistics in just a moment. This is Chicago Wolves hockey. Thank you. That Luongo goal, I think, was big.
Yeah.
Maybe bigger than the Esau goal.
Yeah.
The
Well,
Esau
the kid,
goal is big.
Purdy, never been a winger. He overreacted. He reacted soon, made the first move, and Luongo just went by him.
Yeah.
He's got to learn to go over him,
Yeah.
pick him, bump him, and then pick him up.
Those are 2 very damaging goals. That
Well,
Esau goal couldn't have been more damaging.
And yeah, and actually,
Stand by. All right, I'll lead you. The Clark intermission highlights. Going to you, Gene. Welcome back to the Rosemont Horizon. Here in the first intermission, it's the Admirals with a 3-2 lead over the Chicago Wolves. Gene, let's take a look at the Clark first intermission highlights.
well, the Admirals struck first. It was Tony Herkus. Come down the right side. He fends off the defenseman, but wasn't able to cut in, but he let the puck drift in. And then LeBlanc kind of wanted to poke the puck, and rather than clear it to the corner, he poked it out, and Mike McNeil scored his 12th goal at the 6:20 mark, assisted by Herkus. Then quickly after that, we got a goal by the rookie, Purdy, along the boards fighting for it. Malte picked up the puck on a nice play. He took the shot, and Purdy, who had sprung the puck loose, got there for the rebound, and it just beat the sprawled Lorenz. Brad Purdy with his 4th goal at 7:35, assisted by Malte and Brown. Then here's a nice play by Taylor, the rookie. He fends off Steve Strunk, goes down the boards, finds a waiting Felsner, Felsner nicely just handles the puck and beats that one defenseman calmly, and then puts it in the long side on Lorenz. Denny Felsner scoring his 10th goal at 9:21, assisted by Mike Taylor. And then a goal that kind of broke the Wolves' heart going into the, or check that with Longo, who he beats Brad Purdy up high, who had him, goes in on goal all alone, takes the shot, and then the rebound just came out and it just squirted in past the falling Ray LeBlanc. Chris Longo, a big goal, is sixth at 16:50 to tie the game from Duras and Tomlak. And here's the goal that kind of broke the Wolves' heart. It was a nice pass, and Esau broke the defense, got through two men, and then shot a puck through the legs of Ray LeBlanc with just 6 seconds to go. It was Len Esau's 5th goal of the season at 19:54, assisted by Herkes, and it was a short-handed goal.
Checking the first period statistics, shots on goal a little bit in favor of Milwaukee, lots of shots, 30 total in the period, 16-14 in favor of the Admirals. On the power play, the Admirals scoreless. The Wolves will finish their second here in this period. The face-offs in favor of the Wolves, the penalty minutes, not a lot, 6 minutes apiece. Fans 2 years in the making with a cast of hundreds. It's the best of the Chicago Wolves Volume 1 highlight video. It's filled with the best goals, checks, saves, and yes, even some of the unusual plays and big confrontations that have been documented on tape during the Wolves' first 2 years. And it's on sale for only $14.95. To order, call 1-800-945, pardon me, 1-800-THE-WOLVES. I don't know where I was going with that. Both teams back on the ice. Ready to start the second. Danny Lorenz in goal to our right. Ray LeBlanc in goal to our left. Ray LeBlanc, hopefully he's concentrating rather than demoralized after the 2 goals that were scored late in the period by the Admirals.
Well, it's nice that Coach Mulvey's showing a lot of confidence in him at this point. He hasn't seen a lot of action. A couple of rebounds, but he'll do the job. He did the job for the U.S. team in Albertville. You know, this is one player. Ray LeBlanc actually used to work for Pepsi-Cola in the warehouse, and then he did such a good job at U.S. Albertville. He did a commercial for Pepsi, so he went from the warehouse to a commercial for Pepsi-Cola.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is Chicago Wolves hockey. We're underway. Luongo bats it up the far side, out to center ice. Center circle, Tomlak. The Wolves in the power play, only another 4 seconds. Kent Painter in the box. Back of the net now, Bancroft. Painter is out of the box, and the Admirals are at full strength. Left side, center ice, Bancroft. Knuckles one to the right of the net. Lorenz plays it up the near side. Right corner now, Brown. Back of the net, Purdy. Pokes it back of the net. Plays it himself. Got a pick from Brown. Centers, Malte shoots. Blocked. And Lorenz still had to fight it off and deflect it over to the far corner. Far side, Sabrin knocked down Brown, left of the net. Malte tried to center, block. Malte wrap around in front. And the Wolves unable to get a stick on it, but the Admirals may have taken a penalty here. 19:09 remaining here in the second. 3-2 Milwaukee.
Malte, Purdy, and Brown really applying the pressure. A real pretty pass from behind the net from Purdy, a backhander out to Malte right in front of the net. Malte took the shot, but right after that, the ensuing scramble around the net. Sabrin and Brown, who have been going at it all the time. Last night, games before, there it is right there. Gets in front of Brownie. You're going to see a lot of that tonight.
And right now, the Wolves will head right back to the man advantage. And Sabrin will get a rest. Mike McNeil heads into the box, 2 for holding. The Wolves 0 for 2 on the man advantage thus far. The Admirals tied for 17th in the league shorthanded, killing 80% of the time. However, they have killed 35 of 37 heading into tonight's contest. Murray, Miller, and Berglund will start out for the Wolves. Back on the blue line, Hauer and Bancroft. Thor Nelson will kick out both centermen. Kip Miller will step in, wins the draw. Far point, Bancroft. Back pedals. Chips it behind the net. Berglund lets it roll over to the near side. Miller had it stripped. Couturier paddles it up the left side and down the length of the ice. LeBlanc leaves it back to the net for Bancroft. Herkus bothering him. Now Miller ahead on left wing out to center ice. A lead for Murray over the line far side. Cuts to the high slot. Murray near point. Bangs it behind the net. Berglund had it stripped, and Esau will fire at the length of the ice. LeBlanc stops it with a stick. Hauer near circle of his own zone. Hauer ahead on right wing, out at center ice in the circle for Brown. Brown wheels over the line far side. Brown to the far boards. High slot now Bancroft. Near point Hauer. And he feeds it out to center ice. Brown, far side in the neutral zone, waits for everybody to clear. Over the line on right wing now Malte. Kicked it in the right corner. Malte leaves it in the near corner for Brown. Brown to the near point Hauer. Near side Brown. Brown fights off a check near side. Prue pushes him against the dasher. And the puck is kicked down the length of the ice.
Well, the Wolves having problems. They were intending to put Purdy on the point, but after that shorthanded goal, they're going to stay with 2 defensemen on the point.
Over the line right side now Goslin pulls free from a check into the right corner. Stops. Sweeps it back of the net. Esau rolls it to the far boards. Bork kicks it in the far corner. High slot now Malte. Looks in. Shoots! Wide! That changed directions. Lorenz looked to his left and then looked to his right. Back of the net now Malte. 20 seconds remaining in this Wolves man advantage. Tom Lack chases for the puck into the far corner. Purdy able to get there ahead of him. Far point Bork. Tried to chip it back to Purdy. Tom Lack able to win the battle and roll it out to center ice. 5 seconds remaining in the penalty to McNeil.
2, 1.
Near corner Goslin. Up the near side. Bork. The Admirals back at full strength. Center circle. Penn jams it in the right corner. High slot held in by Bork. Left circle. Felsner walks behind the net. Into the near circle. Centers through the legs of Penn. Top far circle. Bork shoots. Lorenzo save. Rebound. Wide. Oh, Brown being held up along the near side. Felsner in the right corner. Penn kicks at it. Brown tries to free it. Sabrin shoves him against the wall. Near side now. Penn pressed against the wall by Sabrin. Brown tries to fish the puck out of there. The Wolves able to jam it behind Lorenz. Herkus with it up the right side. Tony Herkus with 2 helpers in the opening period. Center circle Herkus. Saucers it in the right corner. The Admirals will change. 16:11 remaining here in the second. 3-2 Milwaukee. Bork back of the net will set up the breakout. Up the near side Howard. A feed out to center ice. Rolled over Felsner's blade. Near side in the neutral zone Murray. Ahead on right wing. Taps it to the near circle, and the Admirals and the Wolves with a quick change. Puck is fired back to the Wolves line. Bancroft feeds it ahead. Murray will deflect it on goal. Glove by Lorenz. Slaps it up the near side. Held in by Toporowski near point. Shoots. Lorenz's save. And Lorenz able to come out and cover. 15:36 remaining here in the second. 3-2 as Taylor just to the right of the net. Involved with Finn. Finn able to get the gloves off. Taylor has his jersey over his head. And now the linesmen separate the two. And we will have some penalties when we return. 15:36 left here in the second. 3-2 Milwaukee. This is Chicago Wolves hockey.
Yeah, Felsner had a couple, right? And Bork.
Get the calls.
There's a couple of chances for the Wolves. Felsner, who makes things happen, picks up a loose puck, then calmly takes it from behind the net. He's quick, but he doesn't hurry here. He takes his time and nicely puts it across. Just went by Penn in front of the net. Then the puck came right back to Bork, and he hammers it. There's a rebound, and look who's on it again is Felsner, and he just pushed it past the open side.
We get coincidental minors to Finn and Taylor. Taylor off for high sticking, Finn for roughing. So that'll loosen up things. Draw will be at Benirdat just beyond the Admiral line. Shots on goal, dead even at 17 right now. Back of the net, Luongo, who scored an important goal late in the opening period to tie things at 2 and deflate the Wolves. Over the line, high slot now, Herkus. Herkus stripped to the puck by Bancroft. Near corner now, Howard. Ridden off the puck. Near point, Painter. Shoots! LeBlanc stick save. Left circle now, Herkus. Tried a drop pass, and that was intercepted by Berglund. Far side center ice, Murray. Center circle, Howard. Over the line, high slot. Near point, Bancroft. Rink wide, Berglund. Shoots! Couldn't get much on the one-timer. And off the boards, Lorenz will freeze it. 14:56 remaining here in the second. 3-2 Milwaukee.
Everybody likes 4-on-4 hockey. You get out there, there's a lot of room, and a nice play by Bancroft. Kind of a give and go over to Berglund, and Berglund just kind of miscued that shot. And Lorenz quickly, here it is here. It comes over to Bancroft. He lays it over to Berglund. He kind of miscued, and it just missed the net, and then Lorenz quickly jumped on that puck.
Draw on the far circle in the Admirals end. 1:20 remaining on the coincidental minors. Brown will lean in and take the face-off. Looks like Tomlak will be the man who opposes him. Brown out there with Malte up front. Back on the blue line, Bork and Goslin. Brown wins it, high slot, Goslin. Shoots, lofted it over the crossbar. Rebound, poked out in front. Prue able to scoop it up. Prue left of the net, ridden into the wall by Malte. Tomlak kicks it free. Motors up the right side, dips around to check. Esau. A lead for Prue, now back to Esau's center circle. Slides it in the left corner of the Wolves zone. Back of the net now, Bork. Turns away from a check, got a pick to get away from Couturier. Now Bork, up the right side, Malte. Malte steams ahead into the center circle, over the red line, over the blue line, cuts to the far circle, left of the net now, Malte. Back of the net, Malte. Near circle, Malte. Spins, Esau still on his tail. He knocks down Malte. Now along the near side, Brown. Took a hit. Puck free in the near circle. In the slot, Bork centers Brown. Oh, just beyond his stick. Center circle now, Tomlak. Left side over the line, Couturier. Rolls it in the left corner. Bork rolls it around the far side. Held in the far point line, Luongo. Shoots deflected. Lays out in front. Whack just wide as Goslin dumped Couturier in front. And the Wolves will go shorthanded. 13:46 left here in the second. 3-2 Milwaukee.
Both ends, a lot of action. Steve Malte just had played some keep away. Then the puck came down the other end, and there was a shot from the point. And there's Goslin pulling down his man. Now here's the Wolves' chance. After Malte had gone around the net, did all the work, fed it over to Bork, and Bork tried to feed it over to Brown. It was just behind him. Steve Malte made that all happen by going end-to-end with the puck around the net, battled on the boards, picked it up, then threw it over to Bork, and then Bork tried to just steer it over to Brown. Brown would have had an open net, but he put it a little bit slow, and Brown had overstepped his position.
Steve Goslin in the box, 2 for holding. And the Wolves will be down 4-on-3 for 10 seconds, and then it'll be a 5-on-4 when Finn and Taylor leave the penalty box. The Admirals 0 for 2 in the opening period in the power play. Again, they sport the league's best, and the Wolves rattle it down the length of the ice. Overall, they hit 22% of the time. On the road, only 16%. The coincidentals are over, so it's a 5-on-4 as Luongo paddles it behind the net. Over to the far corner it comes. Bancroft will sizzle it down the length of the ice. Luongo Has it back of the net. He played his college hockey at Michigan State, a native of the Detroit area. It's chipped into the left corner by the Admirals. Left circle to Palma, shoots! And LeBlanc able to get a piece of that. The Wolves fire it to the far point, held in by Painter. Deflected into the left corner by Luongo. Near slot, or near point now, Duras. Shoots! LeBlanc able to make the stop, and Hauer will spin and rifle it the length of the ice.
Ray LeBlanc, Johnny, on the spot there because they shoot the puck from everywhere, this Milwaukee team.
Motoring ahead now is Luongo, center circle over the red line, wrist it in the left corner. LeBlanc stops it back of the net, plays it over to the far corner. Brown able to relay it down the length of the ice. The Wolves short another 45 seconds. Lorenz sweeps it up the far side, took a funny hop. Coming back to help out is Tuttle. Over to the near point in his own zone. He feeds it, and Finn will have to retreat and pick it up in front of the Milwaukee net. Left-sided center ice, Tomlin. Over the line, high slot, Tuttle had it roll off his stick. Bork will punch it back out to center ice. 23 seconds remaining in the power play for the Admirals. Far side now, Couturier into the right circle. High slot, Esau shoots off the post. They score! Glenn Esau banged one off the post. The puck laid free just to the right of the net. Couturier picked it up and buried it. 4-2 Milwaukee.
Well, Couturier started that whole play. He bumped with Troy Murray along the boards, and Troy Murray went down. Couturier quickly picked up the puck, fed it over to Esau. Esau one-timed it, and then Couturier went right to the net, and there was the puck, and he put it into the open net. Here it is. He looks, gives it over to Esau, but he doesn't stay there. He goes to the net. Nobody picks him up. As he's the open man going to the net, he picked up the rebound.
And for Couturier, who has had an off year by his standards, that's his 11th goal of the season. First power play goal of the year. Last year, he notched 35 goals, 85 points. And that was second on the Admirals. Quick shot, LeBlanc able to make the stop of the high slot. Far point, Luongo wrists it in front. LeBlanc able to glove it, and we'll have a stop. 11:48 remaining here in the second. 4-2 Admirals over the Wolves. Back in a moment. This is Chicago Wolves hockey. Oh, that hurt. Of course, you know what a Big Mac is called in France, don't you? A Big Mac, you know what a Big Mac is called in France? Royale with cheese. What? It's from this. Wolves fans, it's time to order the new and improved Chicago Wolves merchandise catalog. To order, send your name and address to the Chicago Wolves or call 1-800-THE-WOLVES. Orders of $40 or more charged with an American Express card receive a free autographed puck by Wendell Young. Call now. The Admirals have the lone tally here in the second period as Wendell Young looks on from the bench. Ray LeBlanc making a rare start. Young fourth in the league in minutes, first in saves. Couturier has that goal here in the second period, his 11th of the year. Glenn Esau the lone assist. Time 8 minutes in. So Esau has been involved in the last 2 goals. He scored a shorthanded goal with 6 seconds remaining in the opening period to give the Admirals a late lead. Back of the net now, Joe Baird leaves it near corner. Now back of the net, Joe Baird. Centers, block, out in front. Mackey shoots the block, a great stop. He robbed Mackey at point-blank range. Behind the net, Mackey kicks at it. Lost his footing. Taylor with it. Taylor shovels it off the end boards. Toporowski plays it up the near side. And Penn shoots it to Bork, center circle. Relays to Penn over the line right side. Slides it behind the net. Esau took a shoulder, far corner now. Felsner kicks at it. Felsner, who has one of the Wolves' 2 goals. He battles just behind Lorenz. Felsner still will not give up as Mackey fights with him. Jobert banks it off the far wall and out to center ice. Right side of the neutral zone. Strunk slides it just behind LeBlanc, and the Admirals make a change up the near side. Penn relays it off the near boards and out to center ice. Sabrin knuckles it in the left corner of the Wolves' end. Toporowski back to get it as Penn and Sabrin get involved behind the play. Left corner, McNeil ties up with Toporowski. 4 players kick at the puck. Behind the play, Penn and Sabrin going at it. Sabrin does not fight. Penn wants a piece of him. Toporowski comes in along the near side. Everybody is milling around. Penn wants a piece of Sabrin. He does not fight. He's just an agitator, doesn't drop the gloves. Toporowski skated ahead to get involved just in case, and I wonder what the referee will call here, Gene. 10:20 remaining in the second. The Wolves trailing 4-2.
Well, Ken Sabrin, he's got this down to a science. He does this every game. He's a big man. He will run people, hit cleanly, but he agitates, pulls at people. But usually a guy his size is ready to go, and that's what's happening there. Sean Penn sees him and wants to go with him, but you know, a lot of big people, they wouldn't play that way. They'd show up once in a while, but Sabrin will not do that. He will take abuse, and here he is here. He'll put the glove in the face here. Like things like that, he will shove people down after he gets hit. And there he is doing it with Penn. Now Penn will come back at him. You'd think that he wants to go when he shoves his glove in a fella's face, but he doesn't. Then he'll just a little tap there, get Sean Penn to maybe drop his gloves first, and then draw Sean Penn into the extra 2 minutes. That's what he's trying to do. Hopefully the referee saw the whole situation, but a lot of times they only see part of it. And that's what he saw, because then Toporowski came in, and he probably is going to get the extra 2 minutes.
Well, that's not exactly what the Wolves could use at this point. Penn is in the box. Toporowski is in the box. Sabrin will head into the box. Again, he came into tonight's contest leading the IHL in minors with 39. And the only thing that would offset here is if Sabrin gets a double minor in the Wolves individual minors.
It's amazing that Sabrin would play that role so many times. Like, he does it all the time. And like I said, very unusual for a guy that size not to engage in a little fisticuffs. But he plays it smart, and that's what he does. The Admirals certainly appreciate it because he draws a lot of penalties.
Fans follow the Wolves throughout the season in the Sun-Times, Chicago's best sports section. Exciting coverage and columnists Rick Tellner, Jay Mariotti, and Lacey J. Banks. The Sun-Times for home delivery. Call 1-800-945-5000. Well, the extra minor has been put onto the board for Kerry Toporowski. So the Admirals apparently will head to their 4th man advantage. They just scored on their last one. Couturier getting that goal from Len Esau. And actually, Toporowski gets more than just a 2. Penn off for slashing for 2. Toporowski 2 for roughing and a 10-minute misconduct. Sabrin only a 2 for slashing. So the Wolves will be down a defenseman and down a man here for a little while.
Well, being the 3rd man in altercation, the referee can call that, and he did. You know, Ray LeBlanc just made a good save. It's 4-2, and that was a key save to keep the Admirals from going up 3 here, and he's going to have to come up with some here also, because with this power play coming up, the Admirals like to fire that puck from just about everywhere. That Esau's been instrumental in 2 big plays, and he likes to put it on the net as many times he can. Yeah, here's the save that we were just talking about. The puck, nobody in front of the net, and that's a key save. All alone, a lot of time by Mackey, and Ray LeBlanc calmly played the shot and saved the bacon for the Wolves.
Drawing the far circle in the Wolves' end. The Admirals 1 for 3 thus far with a power play. Herkes will lean in and take the face-off, their leading scorer. Flanked by Duras and De Palma. Back on the blue line, Luongo and Painter. Far corner, Donnelly rips it up the near side, not out. Berglund deflects it out to center ice. He had his stick stripped, and we're going to have a penalty here on Painter, and that'll do it for the power play for Milwaukee, as Painter will head off 2 for holding the stick. 10-13 remaining here in the second, 4 to Milwaukee.
Tim Berglund just took a page out of the Admirals playbook. The Admirals like to really go at the points hard. They did on that goal by Luongo. Here's Tim Berglund going right to the point hard, and then the stick is taken right out of his hands by Painter. But the Admirals do that all the time, and it's a good play. It's a little detail. You go to the point, you may not get the puck, but make sure you get in front of the man. Give him a hard time. Don't let him give him a chance to dump that puck in deep.
So a silly penalty taken by Kent Painter, and the Wolves and Admirals will skate 4 aside here for the next minute 53. Draw at the near dot, just beyond the Admiral line. Quick shot by Murray, glove by Lorenz, back of the net. Luongo pounds it up the far side and out to center ice. Goslin will track it down. Goslin between the circles, backpedals behind his own net. Lets Herkus head by. Up the near side now, Murray. Ahead on right wing out at center ice, into the center circle. Left wing feed over the line for Berglund. Stops, starts, had it stripped. Back of the net, Berglund. Took a hit from Luongo. And up the ice on left wing at center ice is Herkus. Flips one end over end behind LeBlanc. Far side now, Malte. A lead for Murray over the line. Far side, Murray. Stops at the point. High slot, Malte. Shoots wide. Oh, he got a lot on that one, but he missed the target. Near point, Goslin. Tried a shot, blocked. Here's Herkus. In on a breakaway. Oh, a 2-line pass in the Admirals, and that will cost them a scoring opportunity. 9:21 remaining in the second. 4-2 Milwaukee.
Well, there are the Admirals again. The puck came out to the point to the Wolves, and they quickly jumped on that man. He gave away the puck, and then they turned it over, gave it up to Herkus. Good thing he was over the red line, because he was on his way.
He tried to
right here.
Up.
The puck comes back. It comes all the way off the boards, all the way to the point, and right here, Herkus going hard at him and forcing the man to give up the puck.
Near corner of his own end, Esau. Back of the net, coughed it up. Able to recover and kick it up the near side of Tomlak. Center circle, Tomlak. Weaving over the line left side. Drills it behind LeBlanc. Far corner, McNeil. Far point, Esau. Shoots, blocked. Rebound, Brown. Punched it out to center ice, Malte. Over the line right side. Malte, right corner. Malte back of the net. Rubbed against the wall by Prue. Esau slides it over to the far side. And Tomlak has it out at center ice. Tomlak wheels ahead up the right side into the center circle over the blue line high slot. Just drives it down deep behind LeBlanc as the Admirals want to change. Far circle of his own end. Malte rolls it out to center ice, 2-on-1 the other way. Strunk, high slot, shoots LeBlanc, stick save. Bancroft whacks it behind the net, over to the far corner. Strunk looks around. Tried to center. Hauer able to get to him. Painter out of the box. The Wolves are back at full strength, so both teams at 5-on-5. Near corner, Hauer pressed against the wall by Strunk. Donnelly chugs ahead with the puck. Had it deflect off his skate. Bancroft backhands it up the near side, pulls free. Out to center ice, into the center circle. Bancroft rips it just to the left of Lorenz, and the Wolves make a change as well. Near circle, Finn strides ahead up the left side at center ice. Able to get it just to the left of LeBlanc, picked up by Goslin. Goslin feeds to the far circle. Felsner sweeps ahead out to center ice in the circle. Miller over the line left side now. Taylor shoots, ducking out of the way is Lorenz. Now along the near side, Barton unable to hold it in with his glove. Comes out to center ice, Jobert over the line, high slot, shoots. Got deflected over the glass into the crowd. 7:16 remaining here in the second. The Admirals 4 and the Wolves 2. Back in a moment. This is Chicago Wolves hockey.
starting to back in. Defense starting to back up. It was 1 against 3 before, and they backed in everybody. Tomlak came up the ice slower than slow.
Fans, the next Wolves home game is tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m. when the Grand Rapids Griffins flap their way back to the Rosemont Horizon. Again, that's 3 o'clock tomorrow at the Horizon. Good seats are still available. Call Ticketmaster at 312-559-1212 or stop by the Rosemont Horizon box office. Judd Surratt, Gene Ubriaco back at the Rosemont Horizon. The Wolves trailing 4-2 to the Admirals. The Wolves at one point had a 2-1 lead, and then Luongo, Esau, and Couturier able to score. And that's where we stand. The Admirals slightly ahead of the Wolves in shots, 23-19. The Admirals have made their chances count. They also have a shorthanded goal in this contest. And right now, if the score remains the same, it would be the game winner. Right side center ice, Berglund bangs it over to the far corner. Esau back of the net. He has that shorthanded goal. Right corner, Berglund. Felsner shoots. Lorenz able to make the stick save, and he holds. 6:56 left here in the second. 4-2 Milwaukee.
Well, there's a play there. Denny Felsner was all tied up, but he still managed to get the shot out. Very strong in the upper body, and he makes plays where there isn't a play. Puck goes into the corner. Watch this. The guy comes at him, gets a stick on him, but he was able to just wrist it. Couldn't get everything on it, but even getting it away was a good job by Denny Felsner.
Drawn the near circle in the Admirals' end. Murray, Berglund, and Felsner out there. Prue behind his own net. Pulls free from Berglund. Out at center ice, McNeil. Center circle over the line, left side. McNeil into the left circle. Knocked off the puck by Gosselin. Far side. Felsner ahead on left wing, out at center ice. Murray over the line, far side. Crisscrossing. High slot Murray to the near point. Quick shot in front, nearly deflected home. Back of the net, Felsner fights. Back of the net now, Berglund. Leaves it back of the net, Felsner. Felsner walks out in front, quick shot, Lorenz, they score! Denny Felsner able to create on the wraparound. Lorenz made the stop, but Berglund banged it home. The Wolves are within 1.
Well, Coach Mulvey put Denny Felsner back with Troy Murray and Berglund. There he is behind the net. He's getting up, battling here. Watch this. He comes out nice and cool. He gets the shot. Then the rebound came out to Troy Murray, and he bagged it. But before that, a lot of hard work. Or check that, it was Berglund who bagged that on the rebound. Murray scored the goal. Bergie found the rebound and was holding up people. And Murray got to the loose puck and put it in the net.
So for Troy Murray, he picks up his 11th of the year and a critical goal. Right side over the line now, Purdy. Shoots, Lorenz, stick save. Back of the net, Sabrin. Up the far side, coughed it up. Tomlak will help him out. Center circle now. Duras wheels over the line into the slot. Centers. LeBlanc able to steer it over to the far corner as Tomlak tapped that one on goal. Far side, Purdy. Fights for the puck. It's underneath him. Malte jams at it. Brown comes ahead one-on-one. Up the left side out at center ice. Waits. Bancroft dragged down, and we're going to get a penalty in the Admirals. 5:39 remaining here in the second. 4-3 Milwaukee, and the Wolves head to the power play with an opportunity to tie.
Well, Captain Troy Murray made that all happen with that goal, and good effort by Felsner. Here's a little dump into the middle. Bancroft moves up, then he's pulled down. But now the Wolves are jumping and going to holes and trying to make plays. Duras taking the penalty on Bancroft, who broke up nicely into the neutral zone. Here's Milwaukee getting that opportunity. Duras going right around. Slowly a rebound. It got kind of deflected. Defense did a much better job there. They got a piece, of Duras as he got over the blue line. They got to tie these people up. They're strong forwards, Milwaukee. They go to the net very well.
Draw will be at the top of the near circle. Peter Duras in the box too for hooking. And the Wolves with a chance to rally back to tie at 4. The Admirals had 3 unanswered until Murray banged that one home, his 11th of the year from Felsner and Berglund. So Denny Felsner with a goal and 2 points tonight. He was a healthy scratch last night, inserted back into the lineup, and he is so strong on that puck. And talking to a lot of the Wolves players that play against him in practice, they say he is one of the most difficult to play against.
Well, every time he gets sat out, he comes back with a vengeance. I'll tell you that. He scored a couple goals a week or 2 weeks ago, same way. And boy, he's really impressive here tonight. Now they've got him out on the power play with Berglund and Troy Murray.
By my count, this is the Wolves' 5th opportunity in the man advantage. Their last one was only 7 seconds long. Along the near side, Felsner able to bang for the puck. Near side, Felsner. One of their players has lost a stick. Now near point, Murray. High slot, Hauer. Shoots! Wide rebound! Oh, it's hacked up the near side and out to center ice. Felsner almost able to get to it to drive one home. Center circle, Berglund able to deflect it right corner. Lorenz plays it up the near side, not out near point, Hauer. Far point, Bancroft waits. High slot, Hauer. Near circle, Felsner. A lot of traffic in front. Felsner waits. High slot, Hauer. Shoots blocked. Rebound, McNeil. Unable to get it out. Tomlak will. Wolves on the power play, another minute 11. Howard tracks it down. Feeds up the near side at center ice, Felsner. Over the line on right wing. Bangs it to the far corner. Brown pokes it behind the net. Purdy. Far corner now, Brown. Back of the net now, Purdy. Far corner now, Brown. Far circle, Brown. Waits. Shoots deflected off the side of the net. Pops out in front. Brown takes a swat at it. Malte held up. Far side, Brown. Far point now, Bork. Rink wide. Oh, it's picked off by Herkus. What a beautiful defensive play. The Wolves shoot it out to center ice. Malte feeds Goslin, center circle over the red line. Over the blue line, high slot. Puck kick to the high slot. Brown to the right circle. Malte shoots. Lorenz the save. He fought it off. Far corner now, Purdy. Shoots it back of the net. Brown near corner. The Wolves on the power play, 15 more seconds. Right circle now, Malte. Near side, Brown. Right of the net, Malte. Back of the net, Malte. Malte, far corner. Fights off Sabrin. Near corner now, Brown. Near side, Bork pinches. Right corner, Malte. Malte back of the net. The penalty is over to the Admirals. Centered. Oh, rattled off the post by Purdy. Out at center ice, Bork. To the far side of the red line, Goslin. Flutters it in. Esau, high slot. Sweeps it up the near side, down the length of the ice. Bork will gallop back to get it. Icing. 3:17 remaining here in the second. 4-3 Admirals back in a moment. This is Chicago Wolves hockey. Oh,
that was great.
Playing.
That was great. Malte's working, boy. He's using his strength.
Oh.
Cool. Okay.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Lorenz is stretching out.
Malte, Malte. I know. Here's Steve Malte, fended off some checks, got to the loose puck, goes behind the net, backhands it out to Purdy, and Purdy one-times it right off the post. And just before that, there was a shot in front. The Wolves were putting 2 men in front, and that's going to pay off just about there. They're bouncing around. They can't get a stick on it, but they're doing a much better job on this power play.
Drawn the near circle in the Admirals end. Mike Taylor out to take the face-off. wins it, but Jobert controls up the right side, out the center ice. The BU graduate feeds into the near circle of Wolves and Penn slaps it up the near boards and down the length of the ice. Coming back to get it, Shannon Finn, icing. 3:03 remaining here in the second. 4-3 Milwaukee. Coming up during our second intermission, a live strategy discussion with Kenny McCudden and assistant coach Alex Roberts. Plus, we'll take a fast-forward look at the Wolves' next two opponents, the Griffins and the Roadrunners. And, of course, highlights and stats. So stick around for our between-period show. Ray LeBlanc has faced 26 Admirals shots. The draw will be to his right. Strunk will step in and take the face-off against Taylor. Taylor able to win it. Back of the net now, Bork. Pokes it up the far side. And it's relayed out to center ice by Taylor. Near side of the red line, Bart bangs it in the right corner. Back of the net, Lorenz looks around, leaves it in the near corner. Miller has it in the near circle. Miller, right of the net, had it stripped. Near side, Barton feeds it back of the net. Lorenz lets it roll over to the far side. Painter reverses it, comes up the near boards. Barton able to pinch, but it flies over his shoulder and back into the Wolves zone. Taylor, slot of his own zone. Up the left side, out to center ice. Scrambles over the line, high slot into the far circle. Shoots wide! Lorenz extended, and it fluttered just wide over the line, left side. Couturier, drop pass to Strunk, left of the net. Couturier, back of the net, centers. Where's the puck? Behind the net, Bancroft bangs it over to the far point, held in by Esau. Coughed it up, Brown comes away 3-on-2. Center circle, Penn. Over the line, high slot. Miller made an extra move, and that drew Brown in ahead of the play. 2:01 remaining here in the second. 4-3 Admirals.
Both teams loosening up. We just saw a couple of odd man rushes for the Wolves. They don't want to do that now. They're coming on. They don't want to give up anything. Just keep it going. Forecheck. That's what Coach Mulvey's getting on them. And here was a nice play by Taylor on the 3-on-2. Came up the ice. Took it to his forehand. While it's rolling, you want to shoot it because, boy, maybe you're not sure where it's going, but neither is the goalie when it's rolling, so why not rip it?
Back of the net, Sabrin with it. Sabrin will set up the breakup. 1:52 remaining here in the second. The Wolves trailing 4-3. Near corner, Tomlin pokes it off the glass behind the net, over to the far side. Luongo lifts it barely out to center ice. Bancroft will chug back into his own zone to grab it. Far circle, Bancroft bangs it up the far side. Malte to Purdy. Slides ahead on left wing, Brown. Waits for some of the traffic to go by, but he lost a biscuit. Left side of the red line, Couturier flutters one in. LeBlanc pokes it up the near side. Bancroft ahead on right wing, out at center ice, Brown. Over the red line. Weaves over the line, high slot, not to the far point. Had it poked off his stick, out to center ice. Howard grabs it. Center circle, Bancroft. Backpedaling into his own zone. Far circle, Howard. Howard to the center circle. Punches it in the far corner, and the Wolves complete a change. Lorenz plays it up the near side. Berglund attempted to try and hold that puck, but couldn't. Center circle, Luongo. Over the red line, the puck is rolling. He cranked it in the right corner behind LeBlanc. 49 seconds remaining here in the second. 4-3 Admirals. Left side, center ice. Tuttle backhands to the left circle on the Wolves' end. Back of the net now, Goslin. Goslin will set up the Wolves breakout. Walks out in front, up the near side. A bit far for Donnelly, but the Wolves able to muscle it out to center ice. Now Felsner rolls it into the right corner, Murray. Murray, who has a goal this period. Near side, Felsner, near point, Donnelly. Shoots! Lorenz a save, rebound! Lorenz able to sweep it in. Oh, a fantastic play by Danny Lorenz. He had a man on top of him, but he's able to sweep it in. 16 seconds remaining in the second. 4-3 Milwaukee.
Danny Lorenz just came up with the save of the period with 16 seconds to go. A shot by Donnelly goes through everybody. Then the puck is loose, and they're trying to get it, and he quickly jumped on, and look how far out he was to block the angle and smother that puck. There's a good shot by Donnelly, but he's way out in front of the crease, right in the traffic, so he can get that puck, not back where he wouldn't have been able to reach it.
Seeing the Wolves in the last two games able to do a nice job of getting in front of Danny Lorenz, testing him on those rebounds.
Yes, that's what they've got to do. You know, the Admirals got big defense, let's face it. You got to pay the price. If you want to score goals against this club, you got to get in front, push and shove.
Draw in the near circle in the Admiral then. Murray will lean in and take the draw. Opposing him is Tomlak. Played 4 years with Hartford. Played college hockey at the University of Western Ontario out of Thunder Bay. Right corner, Painter behind his own net, 13 seconds left. Stops to the near corner, Luongo. Rolls it up the middle. Tomlak with it, 6 seconds remaining. Center circle, Tomlak. Wings it into the right corner. Felsner back of the net, fights for it. Durst able to get there. Big hit delivered by Donnelly. And that'll do it for the second period of play. So after 40 minutes, the Wolves trail by the same deficit. Right now it's Milwaukee 4-3 over Chicago as we head into the second intermission. The scoring summary in the second period looks like this. The two teams traded goals. Couturier able to give Milwaukee a 4-2 advantage 8 minutes in with his 11th of the year. That a power play goal. Len Esau the lone assist. But Troy Murray able to cut the deficit to 4-3 with his 11th of the year. Berglund and Felsner the assist, time 13:40. Shots on goal in favor of the Wolves in the second, 13-10. Through 40 minutes, the Wolves have a 27-26 edge over the Admirals. Gene and I will bring you back for the second intermission in just a moment, and an interview with Alex Roberts. This is Chicago Wolves hockey. Oh, he did far more damage on the first night.
That I won't touch upon. 30 seconds.
My key doesn't work. I gotta call the front desk. This thing is broken. Welcome back to the Rosemont Horizon here in the second intermission. The Wolves trailing the Admirals 4-3 in a very emotional contest with second place on the line. Downstairs with our ringside reporter is a man who has to be happy that the Wolves are back in this game emotionally, and that's assistant coach Alex Roberts.
Alex, the Wolves are playing catch-up hockey right now, but the simple things are starting to happen.
Yeah, when you work hard, good things are going to happen. And that third goal there, Troy Murray, Tim Berglund, and Denny Felsner cycled that puck down low. They won the battles down there. They worked hard, and they got the puck to the net, and they got a loose puck, and Troy was able to bang it home for a goal. And it's easy when you want to work hard and you want to do the little things. It's not a tough game, but when you sit back and kind of wait for things to happen, then you're going to find yourself behind the 8 ball.
Can you give us a brief history on the two young players that were brought up last night in Milwaukee?
Yeah, they, both those guys have added a bit of excitement to our lineup. Taylor, the little centerman, number 14 there, he's played in the East Coast League the last couple of years in Richmond and won a championship there. And he's just a feisty player. He leads his team in points and also, gets 300 penalty minutes a year. And last night in Milwaukee in one shift, he went after Ken Sabrin, Dave Mackey, and Larry DePalma. All three of their tough guys. So he's not afraid to show a little spunk out there. And Barton hasn't played as much as Taylor in the 2 games that he's been here, but he's a very steady defenseman and not afraid to use his size.
Since you were on the subject of Sabrin, what is the story with Sabrin? I mean, every player goes at him. He never drops the gloves.
Yeah, he's the kind of guy that you hate to play against. You would love to have him on your team, but you hate playing against him. He's just 230 pounds of, he's mean and physical, but he's not going to drop the gloves. He's not going to fight. He doesn't back up. His actions out there with the fists, and that's one thing that's very frustrating. If he was going to go out and square off with Sean Penn or Kerry Toporowski, then it'd be a different story. But he's always keeps that stick up in front of him, protecting him, and I've never seen Rob Brown go at a player more in my life than Ken Sabrin. It's kind of funny.
Alex, my last question is about a guy that used to play here for 2 years, Brian Wiseman. I know you speak to him quite a bit. How is he doing in the American Hockey League?
Yeah, Brian's doing exceptionally well. He's in St. John's, Newfoundland right now, and he's leading their team in scoring and scoring a lot more goals than he did here. He's more of a playmaker, but he's shooting the puck a little more. He was called up to the Maple Leafs about 3 weeks ago. Played his opening game, or first NHL game in Maple Leaf Gardens on Hockey Night in Canada all throughout the country, so it was kind of an honor for that. And then he played his next game in Detroit where all his family and friends from college and that were able to see him. So he's back down in the minors now, but hopefully he'll get another shot back in Toronto.
Alex, good luck for the third period. Back upstairs to you, Judd.
Thanks a lot, Kenny. Alex Roberts and the Wolves energized with a late surge in the second period. We'll be back with highlights and stats in just a moment. This is Chicago Wolves Hockey. Welcome back to the Rosemont Horizon and the contest between the Chicago Wolves and the Milwaukee Admirals. Following tonight's game against the Admirals, welcome back to the Rosemont Horizon and the contest between the Chicago Wolves and the Milwaukee Admirals. Following tonight's game against the Admirals, the Wolves will be home for their next two against the Grand Rapids Griffins and the Phoenix Roadrunners. The first coming tomorrow at 3 o'clock as the Wolves meet the Griffins for the third time this year. Gene, this is a physical team and they'd like to force you to make mistakes.
Well, they're a dump and chase team, the Grand Rapids Griffins. They like to win those one-on-one battles physically. They're a new team, and they're the new rage of the league. They average over 10,000 people. They're popular in Grand Rapids, not so popular in the league.
For the Wolves, it'll be important for their checking line to do a job on their top offensive line. Michel Picard is having a fine year.
Yes, Picard, he picked up 27 points in the month of December. He, along with Demetria, they make a good team out there. And Nelson, the other right winger, they're the hottest line in the league right now.
And they also feature one of the best goaltenders in the league, Pokey Reddick. It's important for the Wolves to get to him early.
Well, Pokey Reddick has 4 shutouts, so when he's hot, he stays hot. So the Wolves got to get one on him early. He's a stand-up goalie, probably technically the best goalie in the league.
Again, for the Wolves, it'll be important for them to maintain their physical play to match up with Grand Rapids, to check their top line and also get to the Grand Rapids goaltender early. That game will be tomorrow, 3 o'clock, the Wolves against the Grand Rapids Griffins. Then on Wednesday, the Phoenix Roadrunners make their second trip into the Rosemont Horizon. For Phoenix, they will feature a different look, especially behind the bench. Gene, they have brought back head coach Rob Laird.
Yes, Rob Laird, I know him well. He was a captain for me on Nashville's team in the Central Hockey League. He was a fiery captain for me. He's a fiery leader. I'm sure Phoenix will be much more aggressive, Judd.
A lot of new faces in the lineup for them on the ice. One of them, Michel Mongeau, an all-star in this league.
Well, Michel Mongeau is such an all-star. He's the first player in the IHL history to get a $100,000 contract a few years ago when he was with Peoria. He's a slick centerman. He moves the puck very well, and he'll make a big difference in that lineup.
The Wolves have done extremely well against Phoenix in the past 3 years, including winning the first 2 this year.
Well, you know, it's strange, but every time the Wolves go out west, they start in Phoenix. I think that has a lot to do with it. That's an exciting building. There's a lot of action going on. It's bright, and maybe that has a lot to do with it. Also, I think Multi seems to be very hot against the Wolves. I believe he led the team last year with 5 goals.
Meanwhile, that'll be very important for the Wolves as they face a team with a new coach, a new star in Michel Mongeau, and a team that they've done extremely well against not only this year, but in the past 3 years that they've been in the IHL. That'll be the Wolves and the Phoenix Roadrunners on Wednesday. Game time 7:30 at the Rosemont Horizon. We'll be back in just a moment for the Clark Intermission highlights and statistics. This is Chicago Wolves hockey.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Why does that sound weird? Test 1, 2, 3.
How does that? There we go. Thank you. Test 1, 2, 3. Dankeschön. Welcome back to the Rosemont Horizon here in the second intermission. It's the Admirals 4-3 over the Wolves. Gene, let's take a look at the Clark Intermission highlights.
Well, there were 2 goals scored. Here's the 4th goal for the Admirals by Couturier. He gets the puck over here, but watch, he had gotten knocked down, got up, fed it over to Esau. Esau ringed it off the post, and then Couturier went right to the net and picked up the rebound. Wasn't picked up. The 4th goal by Sylvain Couturier is 11th. At the 8-minute mark, assisted by Esau on the power play. And then the captain got into it. He did it last night. He's done it tonight. He gets back in the game. Good work behind the net by Denny Felsner. He sneaks out in front. Berglund's attracting all kinds of people, and Murray's able to get to the loose puck. Troy Murray scoring his 11th goal at 13:40 of the second period, assisted by Berglund and Felsner.
Taking a look at the second intermission statistics, or the second period statistics. Shots on goal in favor of the Wolves, 13-10. They have a slight edge in that category through 40 minutes. The power play and special teams could be decisive in this contest. The Admirals 1 of 4, the Wolves scoreless on 5 attempts. They were 0 for 4 last night against the Admirals at the Bradley Center. Penalty minutes, it has been a chippy game. The Wolves with 8 penalties for 24 minutes. 10 of those minutes a misconduct given to Kerry Toporowski. Attention Wolves fans, here's your chance to vote for the IHL All-Star team in the inaugural Days In IHL All-Star ballot program. It's your chance to vote for your favorite Wolves players and other deserving All-Stars. Days In IHL All-Star ballots are available at all Wolves home games through January 26th. Vote today and find out how you can win a trip to the 1997 IHL All-Star game in Grand Rapids. Checking the out-of-town IHL scoreboard. San Antonio is getting pounded tonight in Orlando, 7-1 in the third period. So Orlando able to come back after last night's loss at the hands of the Dragons. Phoenix with a 5-2 victory earlier today at Gund Arena. And Cincinnati with a 5-4 shootout win over Detroit at the Palace of Auburn Hills. Grand Rapids and Indianapolis all knotted up at 2 in the third period. The Wolves will face Grand Rapids tomorrow here at the Horizon at 3 o'clock. And the Fort Wayne Comets with a 4-1 lead over the K-Wings in the third period. Later tonight, Kansas City and Las Vegas, Manitoba, and Long Beach. Those games are just getting underway right now on the West Coast. Grant Mulvey, Alex Roberts, Leading the Wolves onto the ice. The Admirals have already made their way back onto the surface. They change ends for the third period. Ray LeBlanc, who leads the Wolves out, will be in goal to our right. Danny Lorenz will be in goal to our left. Chicago, when they trail after 40 minutes of play, 1-14-1. That one shootout loss came last night as the Wolves rallied from a 2-1 deficit to score with only 66 seconds remaining and forced the shootout where the Admirals eventually won it. The Admirals, when they have the lead after 40 minutes, 11-0-1. That one shootout loss that they have has come on the road. Gene, taking a look at the 20 minutes that we saw last night, what can the Wolves apply here to the third period tonight?
Well, last night they came out real slow. If you recall, the first 10 minutes came on strong. The last 10 minutes, one good omen was on the last power play that the Wolves had. They really peppered the net, put 2 men in front, got the puck to the net, just about scored. So that was, they're 0 for 5 on the power play and giving up a shorthanded goal. So that's been the difference right now in this game. So now everything is on this third period. They got to start out fast. They got to forecheck. They got to keep hitting, which they've been doing very well. Let's keep that going, and things could happen for the Wolves.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is Chicago Wolves hockey. Tony Herkus will step out to take the face-off for the Admirals against Rob Brown. And now Grant Mulvey with the luxury of the last change. Brown and his line will head off. Murray, Felsner, and Berglund will head on. Back on the blue line, Goslin and Donnelly. We're underway in the final 20 minutes. Left side center ice, Donnelly paddles a backhand left of the net. Lorenz leaves it in the left corner. Near corner, Sabrin able to fend off a check of Murray, but he's able to deflect it over the glass into the crowd. 19:45 remaining here in the third. 4-3 Milwaukee.
Well, they're quickly getting the puck in deep, and Felsner just went after Sabrin with a check, and he did dodge body. Got out of the way real quick, and the puck went up over the crowd. But Sabrin is a marked man, and he's a big man, so he's a big mark.
Say what you want about him, but he is an excellent defensive defenseman.
Yes, he does the job. He, you know, they're fortunate that a big man like him is able to play that role and wants to play that role.
Back of the net, Painter wheels up the left side. Chops it out to center ice. Murray with it. Far circle of his own zone. Up the left side, Felser at his own line. Flutters it into the air. Bounces at the near point in the Admiral end. Finn wings it off the near boards out to center ice. Felsner waits for everybody to clear. Snaps it in the right corner. Near corner now, Painter. Up the near side, held in by Goslin. Tried to center it. Deflected out of the air by Herkus. Held in by Donnelly. He'll chip it back in the net, and the Wolves complete a change. Behind the net, Painter had a problem with the puck. Fired it off the glass far side, down the length of the ice. LeBlanc will stop it, no icing here. The Admirals change on the fly. Left side center ice, Purdy. Feeds ahead, Malte deflects it in. Lorenz will sweep it into himself. And we'll have a stop in play as Malte went careening in against the boards as he and Sabrin got locked up. And those two have words at the end boards, along with several other players. 18:54 remaining here in the final period. The Wolves trailing 4-3.
You know what a forward hates is after he passes the puck or after he shoots the puck to be hit, and that's what Sabrin does all the time. That's why he gets everybody upset with him. So just after you shoot it or after you pass it, he'll just keep coming at you. And that's what he does there, and he kind of pulls Malte down, and Malte's going in hard, and he could have been hurt with his skates into the board, but that's the way Sabrin plays, and you gotta get used to it and beat him cleaner.
Malte with an assist tonight, 2 goals, 6 points against the Admirals. That leads the Wolves. Brown will take the draw in the right circle against Tomlak. Tomlak able to direct it behind the net. Luongo chips up the near side. Duras feeds out to center ice on right wing at the red line. Couturier drills it in the right corner. Couturier has the 4th goal for the Admirals. It came on the power play. Center circle now, Malte. Left wing feed Bancroft at the near point. Rings it around the wall. Back of the net, Lorenz plays it up the near side. Bancroft near circle. Centers. Purdy had it roll off his stick. Near side, Bancroft stays with it. Left corner, Tomlak. Lost it. Held in near point by the glove of Bancroft. Shoots, Lorenz to stave, rebound. Swept out of there by Sabrin. And behind the play, Brown was dropped. And Sabrin will take a slashing minor, and the Wolves will head to the man advantage. 18-14 remaining here in the third. 4-3 Milwaukee.
Well, it was more like spearing. The puck went to the point. Bancroft quickly put it on the net. Brown moved in for the rebound, and when he did, Sabrin cleared the rebound and then just kind of speared Brown with a quick one. So he got caught on that one.
The Chicago Wolves telecast, or this Chicago Wolves telecast, may not be reproduced or retransmitted without the express written consent of the Chicago Wolves and the IHL. No unauthorized use is permitted. The Wolves will head to the man advantage for the 6th time, scoreless thus far. And they had better start the tally with this extra man if they get a few chances here, Gene.
Well, they're not only Sabrin in the box, he's one of their better penalty killers, so that's an advantage. And the last power play was their best power play of the weekend so far.
Draw at the near point in the Admirals' end. Murray in to take it, wins it. High slot Bork, looks up, fakes, drills it to the near point, deflected to Murray. Held in near side by Felsner. Rattles it around the wall, over to the far boards, Goslin at the far circle. Right corner now Berglund, back of the net Murray. High slot Bork. Far point now Goslin. The Wolves set it up. Far circle now Felsner. High slot Goslin. Right circle Felsner. High slot Goslin. Fakes. Near circle Bork. A bit too far for him. Back of the net Esau. Had it stripped. Rolls out in front. Tracked down by Felsner. Shoots. Lorenz a stick save. Near corner. Murray chops at it. Coming in to help out is Felsner. Near point now Bork. Far point Goslin. Far circle Felsner. Right of the net now and behind. Murray took a hit, knocked down. Right circle Felsner. Far point Goslin. Top near circle Bork. Shoots, deflected wide. Rebound. Comes to the far corner. Back of the net, the puck hit the ref. Painter unable to get it out. Held in by Goslin. It's chopped into the air, not to center ice. The Wolves in the power play another 48 seconds. Near circle of his own end, Bork. Waits for some of his players to get on the ice. Far circle now for Hauer. Out the center ice on right wing. Murray. Now Miller over the line, high slot. Miller to the near point. Chases after the puck. Herkus on his tail. Near side, Duras gets to it, and he'll golf it into the air and back into the Wolves' end.
Boy, the Admirals proved time and time again when the puck's around the point that they have 2 men there, one going high, one going low, and the low man gets it and ices it.
Right side over the line now, Malte into the right circle. Shoots, blocked, rebound, Malte back of the net, wrap around. Stick save made by Lorenz. Puck is fired up the far side by the Admirals and back into the Wolves' end. Lorenz slow to get up. 5 seconds remaining in the minor to Sabrin. Bancroft over the line left side. Chops it in the right corner. Malte had it roll between his legs. Far side now Esau. Able to muscle it out to center ice. The Admirals back at full strength. 6 for 6. Short-handed tonight. Out at center ice. Strunk speeds over the line right side. Drop pass to Mackey. Had it chopped off his stick. Malte. Center circle Brown. Over the line left side. Tied up by Prue. Left corner now Brown. Stays with it. Left of the net. Malte nearly stole it. And it's finally lifted back into the Wolves' zone. Hustling back to grab it is Barton. Up the right side. Couldn't get it out. Held in by Jobert. Back of the net now Bancroft. Bangs it up the near side. Out to center ice Brown. Center circle Purdy. One-on-one over the line. High slot. Shoots blocked over the glass into the crowd. 15:22 remaining here in the third. The Wolves trail 4-3. Back in a moment. This is Chicago Wolves hockey. Oh, that power play.
Oh, they had a couple shots.
0 for 6 with a shorty.
It's on the power play, right? Good. Felsner. Point to point. couple of chances for the Wolves on the power play. Felsner just moves back to the slot, picks up a loose puck, and fires it. A nice save. Then the puck went up over the point to Gosselin. He put it on a tee to Bork. Bork puts one over. Look at Murray, came over and across, just got a piece of it, but he was a little too far to deflect it at the net. It went into the boards.
Near side center ice, Felsner bangs it in and around. Far side, Berglund. To the far corner for Murray. Right circle, Felsner. Ran it in net, lost it. And the Admirals come free, 3-on-3. Left side center ice, Herkus over the red line, over the blue line, far side. Drops it in front, LeBlanc plays it over to the near boards. Stripped by Felsner and out to center ice. Sabrin lost it to Murray over the line, left side, Murray. The near point, Murray. Got it into the near circle. Gosselin holds it in with his glove. High slot, Gosselin. Backhands into the left corner. Berglund battling McNeil. Berglund into the near circle. Now left corner, Malte. Near corner, Murray. Near circle, Murray. High slot, Donnelly. Fires it in the right corner behind the net now, Malte into the far corner. The Wolves change their defensive pairing and a few other players. Up the near side now, Luongo. Rifles it up right wing down the length of the ice. Hauer will head back into the far corner to touch. Icing. 14-14 remaining here in the third. 4-3 Milwaukee. Hey, Junior Wolves fans, Skates wants you to be a part of his kids club. For just $19.95, you can be an exclusive member of the Skates Mates Kids Club. You'll get an official kids club t-shirt, 2 tickets to a Wolves game, an official membership card, an autographed photo of Skates, a subscription to the Wolves newsletter, and much more. Call 1-800-THE-WOLVES for more information. Operators are standing by, so call now. Drawn the near circle in the Admirals' end. Not a lot of shots this period. 3 for the Wolves right now, 2 for the Admirals. No scoring thus far this period. Back of the net now, Esau. Leaves it for Tomlak. He'll weave ahead. Up the left side, out at center ice. Snaps it behind LeBlanc. Back of the net now, Howard. Up the middle to Brown. Barely able to roll it out. Couturier bangs it off the far wall in front of the Wolves bench. Intercepted by Brown. Deflected in by Purdy. Left corner now, Esau. Took a shoulder from Purdy. Coughed up the puck. Back of the net now. Purdy slaps it over to the far side, Malte. Near point, Bancroft shoots. Loren stick save. Near side now, Purdy. Leaves it along the near side. Malte comes in to help out. Near side, Purdy. Near circle now, Brown. Got a pick. Left corner, Brown. Far point, Bancroft. Shoots, blocked. Rebound near side. Malte retrieves his stick. Near point. Held in by the Wolves. High slot now, Purdy. Right of the net. Brown walks out in front. Shoots. Wide. Duras carries it out to center ice. Into the center circle. Over the red line. Over the blue line. Far side. Knocked off the puck by Howard. Near side of his own line, Brown. Center circle, Bancroft. Bancroft fights through a check. Tried a left wing feed that got intercepted. Mackey. High slot. Shoots. LeBlanc. Blocker save. Puck comes to the far corner. Penn. Backhands it ahead. Not out. Far point, Sabrin. Shoots. LeBlanc. Able to make the glove save. 12:38 remaining here in the third. 4-3 Admirals. Back in a moment. This is Chicago Wolves hockey.
Try and go back as far as you can, because Purdy made a good play behind the net. He's on his knees all before this. And then we'll end it with that. Even a little farther. Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, yeah, it's a little too far back. I get you.
We're going to have a lot of time. It's 25 after, John. Who's heading off? Oh, that's equipment. That's equipment. It's equipment.
Brown, Malte, Purdy really working hard. Here's Purdy with a little give and go. Comes back to the point. They keep it in nicely. That was Bancroft back over to Purdy, over to Brown. Now watch Brown hang on to it. And look at Multi sitting there, but he elects to shoot it, figuring maybe he'd fool the goalie by not giving it to Multi.
Draw on the far circle in the Wolves end. Far point Finn. Shoots wide. Near side out at center ice. Taylor slaps it in the left corner. Lorenz back of the net. Rolls it up the far side. Far point. Held in by Barton. Then he took a check from behind. Over the line left side now Strunk. Cuts to the high slot. Knocked down. Gets up. Shoots the block stick save. Rebound. Right at the net. Everybody's piled up. And LeBlanc comes free with a puck. As we have a pile at the end boards. The linesman trying to pull a few players from one another. 12:15 remaining here in the third. 4-3 Milwaukee.
Well, Steve Strunk just did a great job at the point. Then he came in, he got knocked down, he got up, and he fired the puck. Milwaukee does an outstanding job of going to the points. Nice save by Ray LeBlanc, and boy, he just covered up again low. Did you see? I believe that Gilbert came in with a backhander. There he's knocked down, and he hammers it. Gilbert's whacking at it. Another man comes across, got a piece of it, but boy, Ray LeBlanc just made an outstanding save, covering down low.
Drawn the near circle by Ray LeBlanc. 26 saves tonight thus far for the Razor. Herkus able to win the draw. High slot Prue. Shoots blocked. Chipped to the high slot but held in by Prue. Near side now Herkus. Bangs it back of the net. Over to the far side now Berglund will steam ahead. Right side center ice Malte over the red line. Flips it to the near circle in the Admiral end. Esau plays it up the boards and barely out to center ice. Herkus had it stripped by Goslin near point. Goslin chops it in the left corner. Back of the net now. Berglund tries to center. Does so again. Intercepted by Herkus. Herkus, far side of the red line. Flips it into the right corner. Tuttle had the puck kicked off his stick. Goslin trying to fish it free. Up the left side, Goslin out at center ice in the circle. Berglund over the red line. Snaps it in the left corner, and the Wolves with a change. Back of the net, Luongo, who has a goal tonight. He's been struggling of late. Heading in only 4 points in his last 9 games. Luongo able to get it to the far side at center ice. Lead ahead on right wing by Hauer, able to get it into the right corner thanks to Purdy. Purdy bangs with Luongo into the right corner. Brown and Malte trying to fish the puck out of there. Malte does. Malte far side. Lost his footing, got back up. Far side now Purdy. Right corner Brown. Purdy's lost his stick. Far corner now. Luongo chopped out the puck by Malte. Along the near side now Duras. Unable to get it out. Left of the net. Malte. Left of the net. Brown rattles it off the glass, and it ends up rolling over and into the crowd. 10:35 left here in the third. 4-3 Milwaukee.
Well, both teams going with 2 lines pretty well. And Malte and Purdy and Brown doing another good job down low. Brown and Malte really, especially Malte, he's been getting hit, taking checks, giving checks, and really giving it a second effort.
An outstanding crowd on hand. 10,814. As the Wolves hosting the Admirals before a big crowd, and Denny Felsner back on the ice after some equipment repair. Felsner with a goal and 2 points tonight in his return to the lineup. Now Rob Brown will get a new stick along the far side. Brown has had a couple chances, but unable to tally a goal, Gene.
Yeah, it's he's working hard. They're getting a lot of ice time. Both two, you know, you got Tom Lacaturia and Duras and Herkus and De Palma and Tuttle. They're playing all night. Purdy, Malte, Brown, Murray, Miller, and Berglund. Those 6 guys are doing all the playing right now.
Near point in his own zone, Bancroft. Left wing feet. Duras picks it off. Center circle now. Finn lifts it in. LeBlanc. Pad save over at the far post on that bouncing puck. Back of the net now Bancroft. Bancroft only 2 points in his last 10 games. Leads all Wolves defensemen in scoring. 5 goals and 14 points. In front of his own net, Howard. To the near circle for Bancroft. Left wing of his own line. Malte, the Wolves having a problem getting out here. In the slot of his own end, Purdy. The Admirals have 5 players in the neutral zone. Center circle, Purdy. Over the red line. Wings it in. Knocked down by the glove of Painter. Out at center ice on right wing, Couturier. Drills it in the right corner. Back of the net. Barton plays it up the far side. Felsner has the 10,000-plus root on their team. In their attempts to tie it up, the puck is brought in offside, and Prue and Purdy have a meeting along the far side at center ice by the Wolves bench. 9:39 remaining here in the third. 4-3 Milwaukee. And now both teams will file onto the bench. Fans on the 5th, 8th, and 14th of January. Budweiser will be sponsoring Bud Buckets during the first intermission of each game. Come on down to be one of the lucky ones chosen to participate. Budweiser, a proud sponsor of the Chicago Wolves, is the king of beers. Draw at the far dot just beyond the Wolves line.
That extra. That's a couple of young ladies taking in the game. 10,000 crowd, just like having an extra man. The Wolves can use it right now.
Use an extra goal right now. Trailing 4-3. All the goal scoring took place in the first 40 minutes. Far side at center ice, Prue lost the puck as he was about to get hit. Far side of the red line. Taylor slapped it ahead. And Penn chips it behind the net. Back of the net now, Esau rolls it up the far side, not out. And then Barton unable to hold it in. Knocked down from behind. Slot of his own end, Bork to the far circle, Goslin. Left side center ice, Miller. A feed for Bork, that hit him in the skate. That's fired just behind Ray LeBlanc. LeBlanc plays it up the far side, Taylor with it. Ahead on right wing out at center ice, over the red line, over the blue line. Far corner. He drops it behind the net. Sabrin battling along with Miller for the puck. Far circle now, Luongo pulls free, backhands it ahead, Strunk center circle. Right wing center ice, Jobert rips it behind LeBlanc, who stops it. 8.5 remaining here in regulation. 4-3 Milwaukee. The Wolves with only 4 shots on goal this period. Sabrin will chase for the puck in front of his own net, cuts behind, stops, chased by Murray. Lost it. McNeil will help him out. Left side center ice now, Herkes. Rink wide, Tuttle over the line right side. Tuttle banged off the puck by Goslin. Back of the net now, Felsner chips up the far side. Berglund played it off his skate. Berglund far circle. Berglund ahead on right wing. Pulls free from the check of Tuttle. Center circle, Berglund snaps it in. Gloved out of the air by Painter. Far circle, Painter lifts it out to center ice. Far side of the neutral zone, Tuttle shoots it off the far boards and just to the left of LeBlanc. The Wolves unable to penetrate the Admiral zone here in the last few minutes. Right side center ice, Murray rolls it to himself into the right corner. Lorenz out to play it. Far side, Penn. Near circle, Miller. And Murray's turnaround shot was denied as Lorenz had to hustle back to the cage. Brad Purdy was the man who created it along the far side. In front of his own net, Herkes. Head on left wing, Finn out at center ice. Center circle, Couturier. Chopped it in the right corner. Back of the net, LeBlanc will stop it as the Admirals change on the goal. Left side, out of his own zone, Malte slaps it into the center circle. It rolls back into the high slot for Esau. Esau paddles it out to center ice. Center circle, Bancroft waits for everybody to clear. Lifts it in the left corner. He'll chase after it himself. Lorenz plays it up the near side. Malte traps it at the hash marks. Puck free to Tomlak and out to center ice in the circle, Couturier with the 9-iron into the right corner. Right of the net, Tomlak pokes it back of the cage. LeBlanc plays it over to the near corner. Mackey digs the puck out along the near side, pressed against the wall. Right corner, Mackey working for the puck. Purdy picks him off it, and Hauer ahead on right wing. Brown wheels around to check. Center circle, Brown over the line, high slot, Brown to the left circle, shoots wide. That was blocked. And then Prue shoulders Brown against the end boards. Malte knocked down on a clean check by Duras, and the puck is trapped underneath Prue. 6:13 remaining here in the third. 4-3 Admirals as we have a bit of a skirmish in the left corner as Brown tried to dig that puck out from underneath Prue, but everything settles down. Bring you back in a moment. This is Chicago Wolves hockey. How long did we go there without a whistle? Jeez. All of a sudden, the D has put the clamps on, huh?
No, they've done a good job. They're lining up at the red line. They actually go into this pretty early, sitting back like this.
Yeah.
Should help us. But you know, their defense, take people, you gotta give them credit. They're like,
yeah,
they're like barbed wire. They are. They get something on you know.
Here we go. Fans at the end of the game, stick around for the collision of the game, brought to you by the Chicagoland CarStar Collision Repair Centers. Phil Bourque with a big check along the near side in the Wolves' end earlier in the game. Could be a candidate. That shoulder check knocked the glass loose. The Wolves 10-4-3 in one-goal games this year. The Admirals 11-4-3.
The Admirals doing a good job of prevent defense right now. The Wolves got to barrel through that. Maybe draw a penalty, keep the leagues going.
Kip Miller will take the face-off in the near circle. Miller scoreless in each of his last two heading in. Tied for third in the league in scoring with 48 points. Near point Bourque. Chips it left of the net. Now behind Lorenz. Plays it over to the far side, Mackey. Mackey relays it out to center ice. On right wing, Jobert hustles over the line. Shoots! LeBlanc. Blocker save. Far circle, Barton. Fires it out to center ice. It lays just in front of the Wolves bench, and it's lifted just to the left of the net, and Bourque will grab it. Mackey having words with Rob Brown as he heads off the ice. Center circle now. Purdy over the line, high slot. Purdy shoots wide. Far side Brown. Far corner Purdy into the far circle. Lost it. McNeil with it. McNeil slides to the center circle. Strunk. Crisscrossing over the line on right wing. Purdy puts the clamps on him. Back of the net, Bourque. Stops. Head on right wing, out to center ice, Brown. Over the red line. Backhands it to the right of the net, Lorenz. Leaves it behind the net for Luongo. Up the near side, Tuttle. Tuttle, sidestep the check. Herkus tried to lead it over the line for Tuttle. That never connected. Far side in the neutral zone. Donnelly, a big check. Far circle, Tuttle. Spun around by Gosselin. The Wolves break back. Brown, left side, center ice. Leaves it over the line, left side, Malte. Shoots wide. Far point, Donnelly. Waits. Shoots. Lorenz, stick save. Puck free left of the net. Luongo lost it. Near corner, Brown. Brown tried to center. That hit a skate. Back of the net now, Malte. Back of the net, Brown. Walks out in front. Lorenz a stop. Far side, Donnelly. Drives it behind the net, Malte. Malte centers. Deflected. Held in by Donnelly. Rolls it in the right corner. Malte. Brown dropped in front by Luongo. Back of the net. Rolled up the far side. Donnelly still holding it in. Far side. The Wolves grappling for it. Finally comes out to the neutral zone. Center circle, Tuttle. One-on-one over the line. And Gosselin forces him to drill it in the right corner. Back of the net now, Gosselin. Gosselin with a head of steam accelerates out to center ice. Left wing feet Felsner over the red line. Rifles it in the right corner. Right circle, Miller. Shoots it wide. And the rebound caroms up the near boards and back into the Wolves' end. Right side center ice, Howard. Lost it. Got it back at his own line. Feeds to the near boards for Murray. Near circle now for Bancroft. Rink wide, Howard. Now Felsner ahead on right wing. Kicks it to himself. Over the line, right side. Swats it in the right corner. Lorenz plays it up the far boards. Far side, Mackey. Shovels it out to center ice. Left wing, Bancroft. To the near circle. Pardon me, to the center circle for Miller. Unable to drill it deep. Strunk picked it off. Now Miller over the line, left side. Miller to the high slot. Had it poked off his stick. And the Admirals cleared out to the neutral zone. 3 minutes remaining here in the third. 4-3 Milwaukee. Howard bangs it in and around. The Wolves change. Bancroft tries tried to pinch. Puck squeaked by him. Far side of his own line, Gosselin. Banked it off the far boards, and Strunk will kick it back behind LeBlanc. Behind his own net, Gosselin, ahead on left wing, Penn. Right wing feed too far for Purdy. Herkus clears it back to the near side of the Wolves line. Penn relays it in front of his own goal. Bancroft up the near side to Penn. Near circle, Penn. Ahead on left wing, Taylor out at center ice over the red line. Whacks it in the left corner. Back of the net now. Lorenz plays it over to the far side. Gosselin unable to hem it in as McNeil swatted it down the length of the ice. Bork back to touch. This is icing. 2:14 remaining here in the third. 4-3 Admirals. We'll be back in just a moment. This is Chicago Wolves hockey.
Yeah, that was a beauty. Oh, God. It was a good hit. I think he got his hip in there. Here's an open ice hit by Gosselin, a beautiful hip check. Give the forward the outside, let him cut to the middle, and then take it away with your hip. Just a great check by Steve Gosselin.
The Wolves are on every Saturday night for the next 4 weeks on WCIU Channel 26 for you. Look for these upcoming Saturday night games in Houston at 7 p.m. on the 11th. And then a week later against Manitoba at home, a 7 o'clock start. And then the Wolves at San Antonio, a 7 o'clock start on the 25th. Draw on the right circle in the Admirals' end. The Wolves have started to pour on the pressure here in the waning moments of the third period, as they did last night. And last night, it allowed them to tie the score and force the shootout.
Well, it's the sixth period, these two teams. Survival of the fittest now. The Wolves came on last night. Let's see how they do now.
Murray will lean in and take the faceoff. He's the man who set up the game. Tyre Malte was the man who notched it. Tomlak will face it off against Murray. Tomlak, one of the best trigger men in the league, a big centerman. And I believe Thor Nelson is going to kick Troy Murray out of the faceoff. Tim Berglund will step in and take the draw. Berglund unable to win it. Back of the net, Luongo. Up the near side, Duras. Unable to get it by Bork's glove. Yes, he does. Near side of his own zone, Gosselin has it at the hash marks. Plays it ahead on left wing, Felsner. Kicks it out to center ice, tracked down by Tomlak. Tried to drive it deep, knocked out of the air by Gosselin. Gosselin will flutter at the length of the ice. This will be icing as Luongo touches. 1:49 left here in the third. 4-3 Milwaukee. Tonight's game is sponsored in part by Craftsman Tools, official tools of the Chicago Wolves. Craftsman, 2,200 hand tools made in America and guaranteed forever. With Craftsman, anything is possible. And by Coca-Cola, always great on ice, always Coca-Cola. And by Northern Illinois Gas, providing you the energy to perform. And by your local Chevy Geo dealers, people you can trust when looking for a good car value. And now Grant Mulvey, the Wolves, would like to call a timeout. With 1:49 remaining in regulation, the Wolves needing a goal to tie it at 4. And he will meet with his group along the far side at center ice, Gene.
Now, right at this point, he's probably talking about when we're going to pull the goalie, make sure that we get possession of the puck, make sure we get to the red line, get it deep, we get it in that end, hang on to the puck. This is when you want the people with good hands to hang on to that puck. You'll have a couple of centermen out there to make sure if one gets kicked out of the draw, the other fellow will be there to take the draw. And sometimes, I'm not sure he does this, but designate people to different sections of the ice, the left winger and the 2 centermen on the left side, and the right winger and the 2 centermen on the right corner, so that we don't have everybody running around, and making sure the 2-point men that they know enough to catch the puck, don't let it come out, keep it deep at this point.
The all-important draw will be taken in the near circle, the Wolves end. And at what point, Gene, will we see Ray LeBlanc head to that bench?
Well, he'll as soon as they get possession deep in their zone, then he'll be coming. Anytime after about 1:30, I would say.
Well, that's 19 seconds away. Murray with the puck in the near corner. Backhands it ahead. Malte chips it out to center ice. Puck is free left side of the red line. Malte bangs it in, but not deep. Herkus flings it back to the neutral zone. Near point in his own end, Bork. 1.5 minutes remaining in regulation. The Wolves trailing 4-3. Now Murray rifles it in the left corner. LeBlanc will head off. 6-on-5 now. Near circle, Herkus will golf it into the air and back into the Wolves zone. Have to hustle for the puck. It'll drift just wide. And Bancroft will touch for icing. 1:12 remaining in the third. 4-3 Milwaukee.
Generally, the coach would keep his hand up and hold the goalie, and then when he wants him to come, give him the wave to come. When there was control, like on that play there, didn't quite have control of it, and the Admirals just about were able to put it into the net. But you want to get them out, so when you think you have an opportunity, you're going to do it. But you want to make sure you have control. You don't want to blow that opportunity.
Draw will be in the near circle in the Admirals' end. The net to our right no longer occupies Ray LeBlanc. The 6 players that the Wolves have out there: Brown, Penn, Malte, Murray, Bancroft, and Bork.
Yeah, Penn's job now, he's a big man. Get in front, tie up a couple men. Ever be able to tie up people, get it back to Bancroft, maybe over to Bork for the shot.
Murray will lean in and take the draw. Murray kicks it in the left corner. Luongo pummeled against the wall. Near point, Bancroft chops it off the glass into the far corner, back of the net now. Brown poked it off the back of the net over to the far side. Under a minute to play here in regulation. Bork able to hem it in far point. Shoveled along the far side by Penn, but lifted back to the Wolves line. Bancroft ahead on left wing. Malte will tap it to the near side. Held in by Malte along the near boards. Near side, Luongo gets to it. Couldn't get it out. Bancroft holds it in. Bounces at the high slot. McNeil paddles it out to center ice. 35 seconds remaining. The Wolves try and drive it ahead, and it winds up on the bench. 33.5 seconds remaining in regulation. 4-3 Admirals.
Boy, when the puck goes to the points, the Admirals do a good job. Bork did a nice job holding it in, used his body. Then it came out again on the other side on Bancroft, and Bancroft elected to kind of fish for it, and they just get on those. You got to make sure you block it with your body, put some steam on it, get it deep.
Draw will be far side at center ice. Now the referee, Kelly Sutherland, over to talk to the Admiral bench. And I wonder if this has to do with Phil Whitliff's personnel that he wanted to get on the ice.
Well, give them a little rest too, I think, on his part. He's forcing, the referee now is forcing Phil Whitliff, the Admiral coach, to take a timeout, and because he was stalling anyway, so he just went over and made sure he called the timeout.
Let me ask you, Gene, isn't it your opinion that it's bad for the Milwaukee coach to take a timeout at this point, seeing as they have the momentum?
No question. That's correct. Now, he didn't really want to take a timeout there, but he was trying to stall to get the right people out there for the last 30 seconds or so, and that's why the referee went over and made him take the timeout, because basically that's what he was doing. And you're right, it always backfires. You call a timeout when you got the lead. It's not a good idea. You like to keep the momentum going your way. If you got the lead, very seldom will you call a timeout in the last minute or so.
Draw will be far side of the neutral zone. Rob Brown will take it against Tomlak. Tomlak wins it. Ray LeBlanc is back in the net. So it's a 5-on-5 right now as the Wolves blistered out to center ice. Tomlak at his own line, 25 seconds left. Center circle, Duras Rolls it in off his chest. Duras right of the net, walks in, backhand. LeBlanc the save. Rebound back of the net. 15 seconds remaining in regulation. Center circle now Miller. Over the line, left side, Brown. Shoots blocked. Left corner now Miller. LeBlanc to the bench, 6 on 5. 4 seconds remaining. The puck is still in the left corner, 1 second remaining. That'll do it. The Admirals hold on here at the Rosemont Horizon to pick up a 4-3 victory over the Chicago Wolves. They have now increased their record against the Wolves to 4-1-0, and they have moved into a second-place tie with the Chicago Wolves. Their record now 19-16-3. The Wolves, the identical mark. The Wolves are now winless in 5 straight, 3 straight here at home. They are now 10-5-1 here in this building. The scoring summary in the final 20 minutes. There was no scoring in the final 20 minutes. Shots on goal in favor of the Admirals, 10-7. The Admirals outshoot the Wolves 36-34, and the Wolves have now been outshot in 8 of their last 10 games. Gene and I will bring you back in just a moment. This is Chicago Wolves hockey.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to my this evening's game. Number 3 star with a goal and assist from the Wolves, number 10, Danny Faulkner. Number 2 star of the game with a goal and assist from the Admirals, number Nicole Anissa. And tonight's number 1 star with 32 saves from the Admirals, number 31, Danny Lorenz. Ladies and gentlemen, the Wolves, thank you for your attendance this evening, and we want to give you one chance to see the
Okay. What are we doing after that collision, and what's our play? Okay. What do you want Gene and I to do here? Just shoot the breeze? Okay. All right, but come back to the collision and the play. Okay. Gene, you got to get ready here. Let's go.
Show business, not life.
Judd Surratt, Gene Ubriaco back at the Rosemont Horizon. The final here, the Admirals victorious over the Wolves 4-3. Let's take a look at our Car-Star collision of the game. The Wolves were able to generate a lot of physical play in this one. The first play, and really the best collision of the game, came from Phil Bork. The play was in the opening period along the near side in the Wolves zone. Bork shouldered Peter Duras against the glass. The glass became dislodged. A wonderful check. The Wolves played physical all night. That is our Car-Star collision of the game. Our play of the game, the Wolves were attempting to rally back in this one, and they notched an important goal in the second period. Behind the net, Felsner swept it out in front. Lorenz made the stop, but Troy Murray swept in and banged home the goal for him, his 11th of the year, and that cut the deficit to 4-3, but the Wolves could come no further than that. Gene, Danny Lorenz played magnificent in net tonight for the Admirals.
Well, he was on Johnny on the spot tonight. The Admirals, though, in the third period, just completely shut down the Wolves tonight. They played a prevent defense, got the puck, played short shifts, and you know the Wolves were going with 2 lines most of the third period. The Admirals went back to 3 lines, went short shifts, got the puck in deep, and kept the Wolves at bay for the whole third period.
Once again, as has been the case in this series, every time these teams have hooked up, special teams was big. The Wolves scoreless on 6 chances with the power play, and they allow a shorthanded goal.
Well, that shorthanded goal really hurt. Esau picked it up, and he got between the defense, went in on goal, put it in the net, and with just 6 seconds to go, they go in after the period with a 3-2 lead. It was a huge goal.
The Wolves simply just have a hard time solving the Admirals, but thankfully, they didn't lose any ground to the San Antonio Dragons. The Dragons got pummeled tonight 7-1 in Orlando. Cincinnati coming up with a 5-4 shootout win over Detroit at the Palace of Auburn Hills. And Phoenix victorious over Cleveland 5-2. That game at Gund Arena. Other games going on. Grand Rapids, a 3-2 victory over the Indianapolis Ice. Fort Wayne, a 4-1 win over the Michigan K-Wings. And out west, those games are still going on. No final here. A big goal from Brad Purdy to start off the scoring for Chicago.
Yes, Brad Purdy, he was sharp that he got to the puck. He's quick. He's coming, this youngster. There he is, a loose puck, and he was quick enough to get to the rebound, and Lawrence just about saved that, but it went over the line. Big goal for Brad Purdy. He's coming.
For the Wolves, the offense still hasn't been able to get there. Chicago held to 3 or less tonight. That's the 12th time in the last 15 games it's happened.
Well, Brown has a lot of problems against the Admirals. They do a good job of defense. They're like barbed wire. They're grabbing him, pulling him down. And Malte, I thought, broke through a lot tonight. He made some good plays, but he wasn't able to handle Lawrence.
The Admirals clearly very dominant against the Wolves. This is the 16th time in the 21st meeting that they've been able to come up with 2 points. The next Wolves home game is tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock when the Snarling Griffins from Grand Rapids claw their way to the Rosemont Horizon. Tickets are available through Ticketmaster at 312-559-1212 or at the Horizon box office. For groups of 15 or more, call 1-800-THE-WOLVES. Our next televised game is 1 week from tonight at 7 o'clock when the Wolves travel down to Texas to do battle with the Houston Aeros. So for Gene Ubriaco and Kenny McCudden, this is Judd Surratt saying so long, with the final being Milwaukee 4-3 over the Wolves.
This has been a presentation of Wolves TV.
To David and to the other executives from McDonald's who are here today. We very much value your friendship as well as your corporate sponsorship.
Let me extend, on behalf of Gordon Gunn and the Cleveland Cavaliers, our thanks to McDonald's and its owner-operators for allowing this event to happen with your sponsorship of the balloting. Now, having been, as David alluded to, an owner-operator years ago, I have many fond memories of McDonald's. And let me say that part of McDonald's stayed with me.
Our sort of benchmark now, very proud that All-Star Balloting will be by far our most comprehensive and exciting program that we have ever done with any sports entity. It's our goal to triple the number of ballots cast in the past. And in fact, we're going to start with, I think, a strong start. We're going to make available a record 50 million ballots, and they'll be available to our customers nationwide beginning December the 26th.
And not only can you vote in McDonald's, but you can also vote in your arenas and through the web of NBA.com. So it's going to be the greatest vote total we've ever had, and we really look forward to it because, after all, that's what the All-Star Game is really all about. It's about the fans voicing who they want to see.
It's 17 years since the All-Star Game has been here, and I can tell you that this is a bigger event tenfold than it was when it was here in 1981.
When you really look at the Cavalier team, their team is, a lot of teams are built from the inside out. This Cavalier team with Terrell and Bobby being one of of the top guard combinations in the NBA is really built from the outside in. And we're very happy to have both of these players on the ballot, and we wish both of them continued success.
Very excited about NBA All-Star Weekend, and as Mr. Thorne alluded earlier, that being part of All-Star Weekend last year was a treat for me. It was great to be involved with the best players in the world, and hopefully this year Bobby and I, and hopefully a couple other guys in the Cavaliers, will be able to represent you here in Cleveland and the rest of the NBA.
From my first year in the NBA, not getting any minutes, to being one of the starters now in the league, and being a known identity in the league, it's definitely a progression that I've had over the years, and it's just a stepping stone. I'm named to the ballot, but obviously there's another step to be made, and that's being named to be an All-Star.
It's time to feel young, time to really get in shape, to build muscle, to get stronger and more flexible. It's time to lose fat permanently, to look better, feel better, and have more energy. It's time to turn back the clock by weightlifting with Soloflex. Now's the perfect time to call Soloflex for your free brochure and video.
It happens when you're not looking. The basic human rights of peaceful people are violated by their own governments.
It happens when you're not listening. Men, women, children unjustly imprisoned, tortured, executed, or disappeared for their religion, color, sex, or simply their beliefs.
So what if we did nothing? What if no one said a word?
We at Amnesty International believe each of us has a moral obligation to see, to hear, and to speak out. We've seen the horrors that occur when the world stands silent.
Call 1-800-AMNESTY. It's your human right.
Hey, you. Got your stick taped? On the pond.
Well, with all the hustle and bustle around the holidays, 1997 will be here before you know it. In fact, it's just over 3 weeks away. The months seem to run together when you have a busy schedule. Just ask the women's national ice hockey team. They are looking forward to their Olympic debut in 1998. Currently, the team is perfecting their skills in Walpole, Massachusetts. Who knows, their play in 1998 could bring back memories of 1980. When you talk about USA hockey, there's only one place to start, 1980.
Forward to the gold medal. This impossible dream comes true!
And believe it or not, Team USA is already on the ice and training hard for the gold in 98. But if this team looks a little different from your 1980 heroes, well, they are.
Let's get in groups of threes and pair up passing. Try to find the forehand.
The USA women's hockey team is currently holding a 2-week training camp in Walpole, Massachusetts. And just like their male counterparts, they're excited to play for their country.
It's always been, a big thing for me. And one I've been working for ever since I stepped on the ice at age 3. And it's unbelievable. But, the opportunities we're getting now and how much bigger it's becoming as a sport in general.
The players may not be familiar to most, but if you're a New England hockey fan, you probably recognize the first-year coach, former Northeastern head man, Ben Smith.
It's been an interesting switch over for me, and I guess, when it first started to be talked about with USA Hockey, I wasn't really sure, and whether I would be able to make the adjustment. And I think that once you get with this type of dedicated athlete, they're intelligent. As I said, most of them are either college graduates or in college, and they're I think they're a great group of athletes. So it's just a lot of fun.
What's up on these passes, please?
he first came aboard on, I guess it was just about a year ago. He took a team to Finland, and we were all really excited to have him there. You could just sense that he had so much to share with us and could really give so much to the program. We still have a year and a half to go, and all the players, you know, we all feel confident that we'll be ready, and you know, and that's all due to Coach Smith.
Everyone has seen Olympic hockey, but not everyone has seen women's Olympic hockey.
It's a lot like men's, except men's I feel is very like stop and go. There's a lot of hitting. Women's is a lot more flowing of a game. You can kind of see plays taking place and are happening, and it's a lot prettier game to watch. There's a lot more passing.
The skating's very strong. I think the puck handling is pretty good. The shooting's not quite like the men, and you know, that's something that we're trying to work on, especially with the release of the shot. To me, right now, that's probably the biggest difference of the comparison. But skating is very strong, like I say, and knowledge of the game is very strong.
Representing your country and competing for a gold medal are always serious business, perhaps even more so for these women.
It's a very, very dedicated group, and as I said, you know, a lot of the women haven't got the same opportunities once their college careers are over, and so this Olympic program really is kind of their opportunity to make a career mark in their sport.
chemicals and they blow the waste away. Down the pipes and through the ground they go each and every day. And the water keep on moving under cities, under streets. The river flow back to the sea, back into the chain. We cannot survive without it. Cool, clear water.
If you've been running for years,
If you've just started running,
even if you've been thinking about running, Runner's World, the world's #1 running magazine, can help you enjoy running and keep you running so you'll look and feel terrific.
Runner's World will help you lose weight fast.
And show you the foods that can boost your energy.
You'll learn secrets for building speed and stamina from top runners and their coaches.
Plus, sports medicine breakthroughs and easy stretches that help prevent injury.
You can get into fantastic shape with just 20 minutes of running 3 times a week.
Call now and receive a free issue of Runner's World.
As a special TV bonus, you'll also receive our exclusive guide, 250 everyday health tips for runners, and a personal training log free.
If you're not thrilled with your first issue, simply cancel and owe nothing. If you love Runner's World, you'll receive a full year, 12 issues in all, plus your free tips book and training log for just 4 easy payments of $4.97. That's 53% off the cover price.
Call 1-800-652-2112.
Hi, I'm Dave Thomas. I was adopted, so I have a warm place in my heart for kids who are waiting to be adopted. Especially kids with special needs, older kids, and kids who are emotionally challenged. They need the same things we need, a family to love them and someone they can love in return. Share your life and adopt a special child. They grow up to be special people. I don't know about you, but I could go for some ice cream.
Call 1-800-TO-ADOPT for information.
We
on the famous North Shore of Oahu. It's the 1996 Bud Surf Tour. This is the Bud Surf Championship, presented by the Turtle Bay Hilton and Town & Country. Hello again, everybody. I'm Bill McDonald, and the endless summer continues here on Fox Sports Net. Yes, it's the same surf tour, but with a new Fox attitude. And today, the finals. And what a better place to hold it but the North Shore of Hawaii. Some of the best waves you'll find any place in the world. Stick with us for the next hour. We'll take you around this gorgeous resort, the Turtle Bay Hilton, tell you what you can do here when you visit. But most importantly, it's surfing. And as mentioned, some magnificent waves. We will crown the champions in all of our season series, longboarding, bodyboarding, Wahine women, and especially the men's shortboard series, where everything today is literally up for grabs. The weather has been absolutely impeccable, and the waves, well, I continue to mention them, hey, we're in Hawaii. Where else could it be better? So for more on our conditions, let's go to the man in the know. For our Gatorade Surf Check, here is Ian Cairns.
Well, thanks, Billy Mack. Yes, we're out at Turtle Bay. We originally were planning to be at Makaha, but the waves were flat. So we're under the North Shore. The waves are 5 feet out here at this Turtle Bay reef. The reef itself is gnarly, very sharp coral over the top of a lava flow. We're standing on some of the same rock here right now. The waves themselves are about 4 to 5 feet. They're sucking out, they're powerful. The surfers need to be selective because some of the waves close out, but some of them do peak up over the reef outside and form a long right-hand wall. Those are the winning waves, and we're going to see some spectacular surfing here all day as the surfers sometimes hit the lip or pull into the barrel. Turtle Bay Reef, the waves are going off. We're going to see some hot action.
Ian, my man, come join me. The action is about to begin. We're going to look back at quarterfinal number 1. Here we go. And we get started with quarterfinal number 1. Joel Fitzgerald, Christian Vaccaro, Russell Winter, and Keith Malloy. Remember, 2 out of these 4 would move on into our semifinals. And this is Keith Malloy.
And Keith Malloy started off the year with a win. He's sort of sagged on the WQS, but he's doing real well here. Very international heat, this one. Joel Fitzgerald from Australia, Vaccaro from Brazil, and Russell Winter from England. And really good surfing.
You're speaking of Fitzgerald, and here he is, the Aussie.
Yes, I used to surf against his father, a really great surfer. First time he's competed in the Bud Surf Tour, a good surfer.
I love the way you age yourself. And this is Russell Winter right here.
Russell Winter is an excellent surfer, probably the best surfer we've ever seen out of England, but unfortunately doesn't make it through in this heat.
Yeah, not a whole lot of good waves there at Big Bend.
And here we have, look, Keith Malloy picks up a wave, starts small, gets really big and wedgy. The waves here are really fun in an unknown surf break.
The surf break that we are calling Bay Views right off of Turtle Bay. And it was Keith Malloy really working it here in quarterfinal number 1.
Big wedgy wave. Keith going that one, and that wave looks good.
Results, quarterfinal number 1. It was Malloy's heat. Terry's kid, Joel, will also advance, edging out Russell Winter. That's just a taste of the action that you'll be seeing here at the Bud Surf Tour Championships for 1996. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, more great surfing with a Fox attitude from the North Shore of Oahu. Stay with us, everybody. The Bud Surf Championships are being brought to you by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, who reminds you fresh beer tastes better. By Chevy Truck, the most dependable, longest-lasting truck. By Gatorade Thirst Quencher. With life, you get thirsty. Life is a sport, drink it up. By Paul Mitchell, professional salon products, available in fine salons only.
Bud. Wise.
Hair that has spirit, moving
by the energy of wind and sun. Luminous, resilient hair. Finding form and texture in nature. This is Paul Mitchell hair.
Remember, buy the real Paul Mitchell products in salons only.
Life equals sport. Equals thirst. Equals Gatorade. Equals life is a sport. Drink it up.
Billy Mack and the crew back at the gorgeous Turtle Bay Hilton Golf and Tennis Resort, but we're not playing golf, we're playing tennis right now. We're surfing. Right now, a check of the Bud leaderboard as we cruise into our final event. Sean Sutton, Marty Thomas, and Ryan Simmons in, all with a wonderful chance of winning the title here today, but there's still a couple of other guys with a chance, too.
Well, those guys are totally close, but Keith Malloy and Tim Curran also have a chance if they make the final and win the event, they can win the overall championship.
Which made men's quarter number 2 so important. Derek Ho, David Giddings, and there are Marty Thomas and Ryan Simmons to the action. And David Giddings was surfing well.
Well, this is the best I've ever seen David surf. He loves his wave. He's a big guy, does big maneuvers, lots of really clean backside maneuvers. Excellent surfing from Giddings.
We've seen David for so long, 28 years of age, which constitutes him as a wily veteran right now on the tour out of Newport Beach. You mentioned big. 6'3", 175.
Well, he's a big guy. This is his best year ever on the tour. He's really focused, and he loves it. And he is probably one of the smallest guys on the tour, Derek Ho, at just 5'3". He's really a very, very good surfer, former world champion.
As you were telling me before, you like to use the word diminutive. You know, it's interesting. He's lived basically the North Shore his whole life, never surfed this spot until today.
And that's not unusual because there are so many other great waves. This guy rides 20-foot waves, and he's so small, but yet he's still very, very spectacular on small waves.
And, of course, Derek can be very patient and attack when he has to. Derek Ho, one of the legends. So Ho and Giddings moved on. And what an awful, awful quarterfinals for Thomas and Simmons, because now the championship is in jeopardy for those two. Men's quarterfinal number 3. We have Banning Capps, Eric Barton, Gavin Beshen, and Richie Collins. And first in the water, well, you know his older brother, but Gavin Beshen, he's got almost as much talent as Shane does.
Well, he's sort of developing very quickly. Does big carving maneuvers, not really that loose, but his carving maneuvers are really what sets him apart, and he has great wave selection.
Check him out, Gavin Beshen from San Clemente, California.
Yes, he's a good surfer. He wears his trunk a little low, but there's another surfer here, a guy that doesn't really stand out that often, Eric Barton from Hawaii, and I seem to think that he's improved so dramatically in the last few months.
He's a business student at a local community college. He's 23 years of age.
Well, this is his best result so far on the Bud Surf Tour, and I think during the whole contest I've watched him improve heat by heat.
This is Eric Barton. We know little about him, but as you can see, he's got some talent.
A good wave selection. These waves stand up, and Eric Barton did real well.
Yeah, real well. Well enough to win men's quarter number 3. Gavin Beshen will advance. Collins and Capps, they're done for the afternoon. Men's quarterfinal number 4. Sean Sutton, our current Bud leaderboard leader. John Shamoka, Tim Curran, and Jay Larson. Now, it stands to reason that if Sean Sutton can move all the way to the final, he would win our season series title, and he took a giant step to move into the semifinals with this great quarterfinal effort.
Well, that was really a fantastic takeoff tube right there by Sean Sutton. Pulls into the barrel, and then he pulls up a clean floater re-entry. Difficult maneuver there. Bam, that wave just crunches down. He makes it.
Sean calls the other side of the island his home, Eva Beach, here on Oahu.
Well, Sean Sutton has great wave selection, always seems to be on the good wave. We've seen right the way through the tour Sean doing the big maneuver on the good wave.
Sean Sutton leading the Bud Tour. What about Timmy Curran?
Well, Timmy Curran is a surfer with a giant future. This is one of his best results. He's come good in the WQS late in the year. Tim could win the overall title if he makes it through to the final and wins the final. He's a very snappy, spectacular young surfer.
And as we like to say, this is the stepping stone to the World Tour, and we're going to see Tim on that World Tour for a lot of years.
Very much so. Both Sean Sutton and Tim Curran very, very close to qualifying this year.
So another great quarterfinal, and Tim Curran was the star. Look at that. Maybe not a high-scoring wave there, but he got enough to win and move on, and Sean Sutton racking up those points. Larson and Shamoka, they're done for the day. I'm going to go shopping at Haleiwa. While I do that, Ian, why don't you tell us about the WQS report?
Well, the WQS is really getting right down to the very end of the season, and the Australians are dominating. See Jake Patterson out there on top. Chris Gallagher and Pat O'Connell from America have re-qualified, and it looks like Sean Sutton and perhaps Timmy Curran from this event might qualify as well.
That is our WQS report. Going to take a short break. When we come back into the water and the men's semifinals. Stay with us, everybody.
They're nutty, goofy, zany, and just plain silly. From the creator of the award-winning television series Wild America comes a hilarious home video unlike anything you've ever seen. These are nature's Fantastic Follies. Fantastic Follies is a non-stop comical romp through the world of animals. It is not available in stores. Call now to get Fantastic Follies for just $19.95. Order now and you'll also receive Backyard Wildlife absolutely free. That's right. Both of these extraordinary programs are yours for just $19.95. Call now.
For rush delivery, get your credit card ready and call 1-800-652-2112. That's 1-800-652-2112, or send your check or money order to the address on your screen. Call now.
Minutes of thrills, 60 minutes of spills. It's 1 full hour of power on Motorsports Hour by Chevrolet. Feel the power Thursdays at 2 on Sunshine.
Welcome back, everyone. One of the great recreational activities you can participate in here at Turtle Bay, horseback riding. Over here, my good buddy Cigar. After a brilliant career, he's, of course, been put off the stud here on Oahu. I'm exaggerating just a bit, but that is one great horse. Over here, well, this old gray mare just ain't what she used to be. Nah, she's still pretty good, but that song might be a little shaky. We've got a much more electrifying soundtrack for you this afternoon for the Bud Surf Tour Finals. The band, Lifter. The album, Melinda. Everything was beautiful and nothing hurt. You'll hear that throughout the contest. Well, it's time to get to the action, so to the water we go here at Turtle Bay and the men's semifinals. History being made here on the North Shore today. We have our first contest ever off of the Turtle Bay Hilton Inn Resort. There's our lineup for the semifinal: Malloy, Fitzgerald, Ho, and Giddings. And we go right into the water, and Keith Malloy, who looks so good in the quarterfinal. Can he keep it going here in the semi?
Well, I think so. He's really a strong surfer, really excellent carving, powerful surfer. And David Giddings, the big guy, he gets a wave here with not that much wall, but he's able to string together a lot of maneuvers, really loose and flexible and flowing.
And Ian, as you mentioned earlier, we are really seeing the long and then the short of it. And here's Derek Ho, the local favorite.
And local favorite for sure, former world champion. Big maneuvers. He's a powerful surfer for how short he is. And he really hangs on there. And great wave selection. Look at this wave looming over the reef.
What makes the whole family so good when it comes to surfing the North Shore?
Well, I think it's experience. It's also their positioning on the wave. They always seem to be on the best wave. They have so much ocean knowledge. They're just amazing.
And this, of course, is Joel Fitzgerald. You mentioned how you surfed with his dad before, Terry Fitzgerald, the great one.
Well, over 20 years ago. Now look at Joel Fitzgerald putting together really fine acts. lots of maneuvers, and very committed big floater maneuvers when he needs to do that. And when you do those big maneuvers, they're the high-scoring maneuvers by the judges.
Joel looking very powerful here in this semifinal performance. A couple of nice snaps.
Big, powerful maneuvers and linking them together, maneuver after maneuver after maneuver, and that's really what the judges are looking for, continual riding down the line.
And I know everybody who surfs is sitting looking at these waves saying, man, that looks fun. The water's warm, the waves are good, and it was even better for Joel Fitzgerald, who advanced along with Derek Ho to our finals. Giddings and Malloy are ousted. All right, as we get set for some shaved ice, men's semi number 2 has Eric Barton, Gavin Beshen, Tim Kern, and Sean Sutton. And what a huge, huge one this is going to be for Sean Sutton.
Well, this is the heat that he really needs to make it through. And, of course, Gavin Beshen carving maneuvers, throwing it off the lip. Really a committed go-for-it kind of surfer. And did not pull in on that one. But the waves there are very, very tricky. And Gavin is just a spectacular, floats the air. He does sort of really spontaneous stuff.
How much different is he than his brother?
Well, he's sort of like what his brother was. And look at Eric Barton pulling in on the backside there, into a barrel, does the maneuver. These are the sorts of really quick and spontaneous maneuvers these guys are able to do when they're young. They call this the pig dog style. Pulls in straight off the backside, lays forward, grabs the rail, pulls into the barrel.
Once again, the quick barrel by Barton. He'll score some big points there. A guessing game out there. These are great waves. It's a nice break. But as we mentioned again, these surfers haven't surfed here before, so they're kind of rolling the dice.
They're rolling the dice and stalling and pulling into the barrel. You know, forehand barrel there by Sean Sutton, and he does a cutback. Sean Sutton is the guy that actually has great wave selection and good positioning as well. So it's really, if you pick the good waves, you're able to get the good maneuvers. And out here, that's imperative. And you can see Sutton always seems to be on a wave with a wall in front of him and throws the big maneuver down the line.
And it's clutch time for Sean Sutton. If he can move on to the final, he could win the season series for the Bud Surf Tour. And as we look at the results, Sutton not only moves on, he wins semifinal number 2. Eric Barton in second, Gavin Beshen and Tim Kern third and fourth, respectively. Time now, Ian, to take a look at the WCT report.
Well, the story is that American Kelly Slater has won the world title again for the 4th time, and he's beaten Shane Beshen. Luke Egan has had his best year ever, and a bunch of other Americans way up there on the WCT tour.
So congratulations, Kelly Slater. Another awesome year, 1996. Ian and I are just getting started along with the rest of the gang. When we come back, the Maury National Bodyboard Tour, just for you. Stay with us. The Bud Surf Championships are being brought to you by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, who reminds you fresh beer tastes better. And by the Turtle Bay Hilton on Oahu's scenic North Shore.
And now, from Paris, from Milwaukee, from St. Louis.
Introducing a new look from Budweiser. Born on dating. It's the day your Bud was born, because fresh beer tastes better.
Nice label.
Thanks.
The daily grind getting to you? Make a break for Hawaii and unwind at the Turtle Bay Hilton Golf and Tennis Resort. Here, just an hour's drive from Honolulu, you'll find the finest golf and tennis on Oahu. Call your professional travel agent for 1-800-HILTONS.
So little spent surfing. You have to spend hours at work, at school, waiting. Before this, I try to remember all those hours, time spent doing anything else, beats gone. As if time waiting shrivels and dies. But the moments on the waves live like a film playing over and over in your head. It's just your brain putting in perspective what time can. Freestyle watches, performance timing machines.
Welcome to the green room.
Let's see your Maury board. That a Maury Mark 25? Fiber cell core? You got one of the fastest, lightest boards around. You're in, buddy. Ah, Maury Supermark. Fiber reinforced Sirloin bottom, super strong, super fast. Welcome. What's this?
It's not a Maury.
Sorry, pal. I can't let you in here.
We are back, everybody, on Fox Sports Net. Time to take a break from the water. Being the linkster that I am, of course, I'm going to sneak in some golf this weekend. 27 unreal holes of golf here at Turtle Bay. With me is Ron Huffman. He's one of the pros. And the 18-hole Links at Kualima track is probably the most outstanding test of golf on this island.
Oh, it's just fabulous. You know, it's Arnold Palmer design. One of his best work there ever was.
Great golf, also extremely scenic. A couple holes play right by the ocean.
Number 17 green finishes right on the beach.
Ooh, great. You can feel the spray of the ocean while you're driving. All right, Ron, take this. I'm going to try my hand at this about 15, 18-footer. You know, Nicholas can make it at will. We'll see if I can do it right here.
Nothing to it.
Nothing to it. Yeah, thanks a lot. That has a chance. That has a chance.
Oh!
At least it said hello. All right, make sure you hit the links when you come here to Turtle Bay. Thanks, Ron. Right now, let's get back to the water and a look back at the bodyboard semifinals.
Well, the surf is looking incredible here at Turtle Bay. And with me to talk about the waves and Maury bodyboarding action is champion bodyboarder in his own right, Jay Reel. And Jay, these waves look pretty good to me.
Actually, they are pretty good for bodyboarding. We have a wedging peak at the takeoff. It's overhead on the sets. And the wave comes through to a nice bowl and a jacking section on the end. So that offers a lot of opportunities for these riders to get tubed, launch big aerial maneuvers, rollos, everything. Lots of variety happening out there.
Well, lots of variety and also some incredible surfers. World champion Guillermo Tamega in the first semi-final. And he is with Chris Burkhardt from Hawaii, Alistair Taylor from South Africa, current tour leader, and Joey Vieira. And those surfers are all out there in the first semi-final. And in fourth place, Chris Burkhardt is a very, very strong surfer in bodyboarding.
Yeah, Chris is known for his tube riding skills, and he's a big guy, you know, so a lot of people don't think he can do that well, but he's real flexible. He surfs well. Today, he wasn't able to get the good waves in that semifinal. Moving on down the list, Joey Vieira, a longtime competitor from here in Hawaii. It was really a battle for second place between he and Alistair Taylor, and it came through half a point higher for Alistair Taylor. That made the difference in the final points total. Alistair Taylor needed to get through in order to have a chance to win the tour victory, and he did so with a lot of in-the-pocket surfing. And winning that heat, Guillermo Tamega from Brazil, as you mentioned, he's the world champ, and he won the U.S. Tour as well before, so he's got a lot of contest experience, and that came through. He just went way out in front of everyone else in semifinals.
Well, Tamega moving on to the final along with Alistair Taylor. In the second semi-final, another bunch of really incredible surfers. And taking off in the red jersey is Brian Wise, then Jeff Hubbard from Hawaii, Ben Severson, an old-time competitor from Hawaii, and Mike Stewart. You know, Mike Stewart is really a great surfer, many-time champion of this tour. But what's the results of that semi-final?
Well, it's great to see the veterans in there again, Mike Stewart and Ben Severson going at it once again. But Ben Severson unable to find the better waves that he found in the quarters, so he went down. Brian Wise right up there until he lost his board about halfway through the heat. That cost him. He got a third. Mike Stewart right up there with Jeff Hubbard, those two top two. Stewart taking the second, and Hubbard with big vertical maneuvers to win the semifinal number 2 heat.
Well, that's Hubbard and Stewart moving to the final. Going to be a great matchup in that final out here at Turtle Bay with some really cool hollow waves.
And the action will continue in just a moment. Want to remind you, the Bud Surf Championships are being brought to you by Body Glove. Body Glove, all about water. And by Freestyle USA, official timing sponsor of the Bud Surf Tour. Freestyle watches, performance timing.
Dodge cars and trucks have followed a very straight path this year, straight up, with sales climbing to all-time highs on practically every Dodge we sell. So hurry to the Dodge year-end event, because with your choice of up to $1,500 cash back or 1.9% financing, there is simply no telling what heights the new Dodge will reach. The best Dodge sales year ever ends very soon. Don't miss it.
My name is Kerry Herndon. I'm the owner of Kerry's Bromeliad Nursery. As a small businessman, it's not easy to get a good quality health plan for your employees that you can afford. Blue Cross's HMO program allows me to do that. It's only because we have an HMO that we can provide the kind of benefits my employees need and deserve.
HMOs, we know they work because it's Blue Cross Blue Shield of Florida's HMO Health Options. Successful healthcare stories every day.
So you guys have to feed the cows first thing in the morning?
Yeah, most of the time.
They get their breakfast, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you always get your breakfast in the morning?
Not always.
Would you ever have breakfast for lunch or for dinner, maybe?
That sounds good. Fine.
What about pancakes for dinner?
Like IHOP's gourmet pancake breakfast. You get harvest grain and nut or pumpkin pancakes or country griddle cakes made with cream of wheat, plus eggs, bacon, and hash browns.
Breakfast is a pretty important meal, don't you think?
As my mom says it, breakfast feeds the brain.
It might be smart to have it for lunch or dinner.
Yeah. Get all A's.
Back in Oahu and back on Fox. I'm Bill McDonald. Let's get back to the action in the Maury Bodyboard National Tour. Ian and Jay.
Although this wave out here at Turtle Bay is an unknown quantity for many of the competitors, the surfers out in the final of the Maury Bodyboards National Tour, this is the final stop of the year, really looked good. And in red was Guillaume Tamega. In blue was Alistair Taylor from South Africa. In yellow was Jeff Hubbard from Hawaii. And orange, Mike Stewart, also from Hawaii. And Jay Reel, the surfing was really excellent out here. And it was a surprise to me that Guillaume Tamega only came in fourth place.
Yeah, interestingly enough, none of these guys had a home break advantage. You know, none of them had ever even surfed here, so really it was going to come down to experience. And all four competitors are highly experienced, so we had a high performance final. Tamega had some great waves in earlier heats, but it looked like he was really being a scavenger out there in the final. He was just looking for whatever he could get. He was off rhythm. He did pull big moves on the smaller waves, but the judges like the set waves. Tamega takes a four.
And Hubbard seemed to have all of his success in the semi-final, winning into the final. He didn't do quite so well out there in this final.
Yeah, in earlier heats, the smaller inside waves were actually really hollow, and Hubbard found those in earlier heats. But in the final, that didn't seem to be the case. And even though Hubbard had one of the longest waves of the final, the judges are still, as I said, looking for the big waves and big maneuvers on the outside. Hubbard didn't quite have that. He takes the third.
Alistair Taylor needed to get third or better to win the overall title. He surfed like a champion out here today.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on the young South African's back, but he's a 7-time national champion in South Africa, so he's been competing for a lot of years, and he's used to that pressure. He was actually leading the final up until about 2/3 of the way through the heat, but, you know, the turning point came then, and he ended up in second place, but great surfing from him. He picked off some big set waves on the outside, launched big rollos, actually found some tubes and got long rides. That is definitely what the judges are looking at.
And Mike Stewart wins this final out here with really some incredible action. I would be expecting Stewart to come through and win because he's so experienced, has so many titles.
Well, he got kind of a slow start. He was back in the standings in the final. As I mentioned, about 2/3 of the way through the heat was the turning point. Stewart got away from all the way outside at the peak, all the way through, busting big El Rolos, finding good spins in the pocket, milked it all the way through into the bay. The judges loved that, and that vaulted him ahead into first place, and he really never looked back from there. He got such a huge lead at one point that guys needed combinations of waves to actually beat him. So Stewart with a very convincing victory out here today, and his experience showed.
And of course, Stewart wins this final, but the overall Maury Bodyboard National Tour champion for this year is Alistair Taylor from South Africa with some incredible surfing all the way from Santa Cruz earlier in the year, right the way through here to Turtle Bay in Hawaii. Alistair has looked great, and he takes the title, the overall title for the year.
Ian, more on Alistair in a moment. Today, though, belongs to the king, Mike Stewart. Right now, he's with Israel Paskowitz in the winner's circle.
All right, here we are with Mike. Everybody likes you, Stewart. Congratulations, just won the bodyboard division. You said you haven't won in a while. This must feel pretty cool. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked. I didn't really come into this event expecting to
do that well. I just wanted to enter it, stay in tune with the competition, and see how it go, and just kind of get back into it, you know, for next year.
Right. So that means you're going to get back into it, you're going to dedicate, put 110% into it, and look out for Mike Stewart?
Yeah, we'll see.
We have not seen him in this position in a while, but it is a familiar sight. Mike Stewart winning a contest, this one here at Turtle Bay. But the year belongs to Alistair Taylor, edging out Spencer Skipper and others to win the Maury Bodyboard National Tour. Congratulations. Stay with us, more action upcoming. The Maury Bodyboard National Tour was brought to you by Maury Bodyboard.
Freshness hotline, what's the problem?
Man, my party is lame. I think I got some skunky beer.
Sir, relax. When was your beer born?
Born? What are you talking about?
It doesn't have a born-on date?
A what?
Do you have any Budweiser?
No, man, you gotta help me.
Okay, remain calm, sir. We're on our way.
New Born on Dating from Budweiser, because fresh beer tastes better.
Go! Sir, put down the skunky beer and slowly back away.
If you can grow it, we can shave it. Take the Remington Challenge. The Remington Triple Foil. The only shaver with 3 flexing micro screens to cross-cut each whisker 3 times. Take the Remington Challenge. Find out what smooth, close, and comfortable are all about.
Hi, I'm football coach Steve Spurrier. We all want to see the Gators be successful, and that means following the NCAA rules, especially when it comes to recruiting student athletes. So remember, ask before you act.
Hi, I'm Brian, a mobile-friendly serve attendant.
What is mobile-friendly serve? Mostly it's about speed.
That's why I'm here, to do things like direct you to an open island, give you a hand when you pay at the pump, wash your windshield, even show you which side your gas tank is on.
And it's at no extra cost.
Are you following me? And in my spare time, I try to keep things clean.
Great gasoline and great service. That's mobile-friendly service.
I've got to keep moving so you can keep moving. Mobile, how can we help you?
We are back at the Turtle Bay Hilton. I'm Bill. This is Jill from Idaho, but she's found her way to the Hawaiian Islands. She works here also. Tell me about the great snorkeling that we have here, because you've got some equipment you're going to give to somebody. Very nicely done in just a moment. It's beautiful out here, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very beautiful. There's all kinds of tropical life to see, to explore. We can feed the fish and just basically enjoy the warm water.
Yeah, the water's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It's so good. The women are going to get in it right now. Actually, they were in it just a few moments ago. Let's look back at the Wahine Women's Final. Thank you, Jill.
Conditions were fairly tough and rugged out here at Turtle Bay, particularly for the women's division. And with me to talk about the women's surfing out here, Alyssa Cairns, you did very well making the final. How were the waves?
The waves were really fun. The girls were all excited when we were paddling out. We saw some fantastic rights, real nice peeling down the line, clean. So I had a great time out there.
Well, everyone was stoked. And in the final, there were 4 really hot young surfers. Kim Woolridge from Australia in red, Alyssa in blue, Megan Abubo from Hawaii in yellow, Kiala Kennelly in orange, also from Hawaii. And those 4 surfers went out there very well, and Kim